Okay, I goobered so hard. I double clicked.
Well done. We are professionals.
Shut up! Shut up! Okay, so this is definitely the start of the show. Everything was delayed by 2 seconds, and that was just long enough to think that I didn't actually hit live, and yeah, so it's fine.
We are professionals.
We are such professionals.
So, how are you?
Woohoo! I'm here. Yep. I am here. So.
Indeed.
Yes. All right. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How's it going, everyone? Yes. Well, we have a very exciting show because when Josh is excited to show me what he found, you know it's going to be a good one.
It's the greatest animation I've ever seen.
Excellent.
Yes. Did you want to watch that other thing though?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally forgot about it. I meant to watch it this week. Work was insane this week for me, and I totally forgot about it.
Okay. So we could do it now.
We could do it now. All right. We'll have a little bit of a teaser for this. So we have an interesting Christmas thing to watch, and we will watch this thing as well. I did not prepare this at all. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. Everything's fine. I'm a professional.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not just making this up as we go.
Definitely not. It's fine. It's fine. Fret not. Do not worry about it. I will say something I have a gripe with YouTube about is the fact that they no longer show me where the ads are in YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That's annoying to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've noticed, but it certainly seems like longer like streams and videos are just getting flooded with ads right now.
Yes. Anything over 2 hours, I have noticed, has doubled, if not tripled and quadrupled the amount of ads to the point that it's making me mad. I do not want anyone watching ads on YouTube. I do not. I just don't. It's been.
I'm totally fine watching an ad, and because I know at least some of it's going to the creator, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I do have an issue with I can't see the ads anymore. So I can't know if an ad break is coming up, and B, I do not like that. It seems that it's an insane uptick. And
it's the same like 4 ads.
Yeah, it's almost always the same. Dude, okay. So one of my favorite foods is soup. And I was kind of just looking for stuff, just looking around, like window shopping online. There's something called a spoonful of comfort that I kind of just stumbled across. And I thought it was really cool because it was like a soup delivery service. And so I realized that it's like $100 for soup. And I was just like, no, thank you.
That's a lot for soup.
Yeah, I don't know the quantity. I just think that's insane. It's soup, guys. 100. No. if I can go to Omaha Steaks and I can get like 20 cuts of meat for the same price as your soup, you've done something wrong. I'm just saying. With the amount of inflation that protein particularly has experienced, I shouldn't be able to do that. And ever since I clicked on their website, like every 4 ads or so, I will get an ad for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me mad. I keep getting that one Chewy ad. If anyone else is getting it, the Cole one with the puppy. I keep getting that ad. Yep, that ad keeps popping up, which was funny the first couple of times. I've now seen it 1,600 times. It's no longer funny.
I've constantly been getting the DraftKings Christmas ad.
I have not gotten that one yet.
Okay, yeah, it's a black guy. He comes out with like a holiday sweater, and he's talking about DraftKings. It's like I've seen it so many times. Like,
no, in the past week, I've been getting a lot of phone commercials for some reason, where it's like, "Hey guys, maybe you need a new phone for Christmas," and I'm like, "I literally don't though." So no, I will not. I will say that I am happy that I haven't been getting any car commercials, because I'm just truly baffled over the Christmas car commercials, because I'm like, okay, so who can afford to buy someone a car for Christmas? Like, who are these for? Because they're not. If they can.
Rich assholes. That's who it's for.
Okay, so obviously, but then why are they buying like a Ford Escape? They're not. So then I've asked, like, okay, so who is this? If it was like, I don't know, like Volvo exclusively, right? Like Infinity, BMW, you know, some of the more like luxury brands, like I would understand that, but I keep getting it, you know, I used to get it for like Ford and Chevrolet, and I'm like, I understand y'all make some luxury cars, but like, yeah. So I just, yeah. I don't know what happened with YouTube. I'm just annoyed over how many ads I'm getting now. Also, have you noticed that they don't show the 5 seconds anymore for the most part?
Yes.
And I'm definitely aware, because they're not being slick. They think if they don't show me 5 seconds, I'm not going to be aware that it's more than 5 seconds. No, I'm aware, because I've been on this planet long enough that I know what 5 seconds is. So I know when you're trying to put a 10-second unskippable ad in there. So. Oh yeah, Shay. I've got one of my favorites was a few years ago. I got a 90-minute unskippable ad where I just ended up
What?
I got basically a documentary that was an unskippable ad.
I mean, I remember when Lego Movie 2 came out, they put the first Lego movie as an ad, but you could skip it if you wanted to.
Not this one. 90-minute docu. It was some kind of nature thing. I don't remember what it was, but it was 90 minutes long, and I was just like, ugh. Also, music artists out there, if you put your music video as an ad on YouTube, I will never watch you or listen to your music.
Yeah.
I know why you're doing it, but you've pissed me off now. So, no, you immediately get put in that I will never listen to your music thing. So, well, hello, welcome. Okay. I'm trying to think how I want to do this format, because I'm worried about the ads. I can't see where the ads are on the Sarah Boone video.
Well, doesn't Watch Together block ads?
Yeah, but I have it set up with the other one right now, so I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out.
You can't open 2 windows?
Oh, can I open 2 windows? It used to freak out. Does it let me open 2 windows now? Yeah, it just automatically disconnected me from the first one.
Oh. Sorry.
Dash.
Sorry.
Dash. Oh, and now it's buffering. And now you've been kicked out.
Actually, I meant to tell you, the link didn't work for me.
And you waited to tell me this now?
Because I could watch it on the StreamYard too. I just wouldn't have able to pause it or anything.
I know.
We're professionals.
Okay, so do you want to watch the Sarah Boone video? Yes or no?
I kind of do. I wanted to see your reaction to it.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's amazing.
Let me exit out of this. Let me get you a link that actually works for some reason. I don't know why it didn't work.
Yeah, it just took me to the homepage. That's all it did.
Why?
I don't know. We're professionals.
Oh my god. And it's also like changed how they do things too. Oh my good lord. Okay. Invite. I want to invite somebody. Yes. All right. You ass. There it is.
All right. Okay.
All right. Now I have to go get the other video and have that lined up.
Again,
this is how
we're
your fault,
professionals.
Josh. I had this all set up before the show. Okay. All right. So this has absolutely nothing to do with what we were going to cover today. All right. But Josh and I are we're pretty big fans of like true crime.
True crime.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like pretty much how like everyone is nowadays. And there is a case, the Sarah Boone case. Anyone who this was a very popular case that got covered, so there is a good chance y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, and it's one of those. It became so notable because of just how odd the method of death was. It's just so bizarre, and then on top of it, she's a complete narcissist.
Also, she's an idiot who thinks she's the smartest person in the world, and those are my favorite people.
There's that too.
This woman really thought this guy wasn't he like what was he? He was like a former. He like went to jail and stuff before for domestic violence and whatever. So the guy was not exactly a great guy. However,
no. But after because I watched the trial for it. I got you, Shay. I get it. But there's no doubt in my mind that she was abused by George.
Yes.
But she gave as good as she got. It wasn't.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just he beat her until one day she just snapped, which is what her defense was.
Yes.
No.
By the way,
yeah. Plenty of the evidence suggests that he especially toward like the end, because there's a video where he's asking the prosecutor. This was done like 2 days before he died. There's a video where she is filming him making a video for the prosecutor telling him not to press charges on Sarah. And she's like coaching him what to say throughout the entire thing. He just sounds so pliant. It's actually very tough to watch.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Sarah Boone, she a kind of a mutually abusive couple.
Yes, they should not have been together.
No. She claims that they got drunk playing and they played hide and seek, and she helped hide him, or he hid in a suitcase. It depends on.
He hid in the suitcase. She saw him go in there and zipped him up.
It zipped him up and then didn't let him out, and he died, obviously,
Yes.
because he suffocated. And she was really drunk, filmed herself doing it, and thought she could just call
in a drunken rage.
Yes, and thought she could call 911 the next day and say it was an accident and all this stuff.
Here's the thing, though. She didn't. First person she called was her ex-husband.
I know.
He came over, saw his body, saw his George's feet sticking out from behind the couch, and just went nope, and he just walked right back out and told her to call 911.
Yes, this is the suitcase thing. All right,
Yep.
so this is that she finally had her trial and she finally got sentenced. This is her statement. So that's what we were talking about. Anyone who's watched
it's amazing.
Anyone who watches any kind of true crime, you know who JCS is. He covered it, so this is kind of, there's a lot of that. So I don't know how Law and Crime feels about this, about us doing what we're doing. So if there's any copyright nonsense, we'll move on. But
okay,
I don't know that much about Law and Crime.
They've gotten better, and I've seen multiple lawyers react to their coverage of it.
Okay. All right. Well, shall we?
Yes.
Essentially, what we were saying is this is not a good person, and
no.
But she thinks she is.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And remember, at this point, she's already been found guilty. This is the sentencing hearing.
Yes.
You may inquire, sir. Just state your name again.
Sarah Boone.
Now, this is unlike a trial, so you're allowed to.
That's her attorney.
Do I need to turn it up?
It's fine for me. I don't know about the chat.
Okay. I just don't know if it's the guy that's talking who obviously doesn't have a microphone. So.
Well, I mean, because she has a mic, so her volume should be fine. It's just that was just her attorney.
I know. Yeah.
To speak in a narrative form, as well as I understand you have taken some notes or written a letter.
Ramban saying, "Turn it up."
Turn it up. Okay. There we go. Is that better?
Read from, and then you want to speak.
There we go.
To the court after that.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and get started?
This is actually an edited version.
Okay. Okay. So this is an edited version. I was not allowed to speak my full truth. Sweetheart, I wouldn't trust you to say anything that's going to benefit you.
Here's the best part. So, after she was sentenced, she then wrote a letter to the judge with the full thing, so we know exactly what was cut out now.
Excellent. That's always a good place. I told you, not smart.
No. Well, I mean, but also at that point, it can't get any worse for her.
Well, it doesn't. Okay, so just because it can't get any worse for her in like a legal sense doesn't mean that it's not going to get worse for her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you found out that like a rapist also like he did like multiple of it. If it also came out that he murdered babies, like you know, or, you know, it would get worse. Like, I mean, it's still like, this is bad, but
Right.
it can still get worse because of the person. And that might not have been a great example, but it's just like the idea of that they've already done a bad thing. It can always get worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, how about this? How about he killed a bunch of babies and he found out other things that happened while that was happening, like
Right.
to the babies, right? So, like
Yeah.
the details do matter. So,
Yeah. But I do just want to point out, having now seen everything that she wanted to say in this, oh my god.
okay.
Her lawyer deserves a gold medal for making it making it better. Because what was cut out was oh good lord, Sarah, you wanted to say that to the judge.
Yeah.
This is the sentencing. This is your chance to show contrition before the court to lighten your sentence.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and
I'm sure
I
you,
didn't
I'm sure
really
you did.
know how to put it on paper, and I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So
Nothing. You should say
what I
nothing.
have here is, like I said, an edited version. But I would like to read the more important parts.
I mean, in fairness, because she has already filed an appeal, she can't say too much because that could then be used against her. But you can still show contrition without admitting guilt. You can do that.
Yes.
And which is why you should just say, "I'm so sorry to the family. I'm so sorry that this occurred. Your Honor, please have mercy." That's all you need to do.
Yes.
You don't want to do what she's about to do.
All right. Well, let's get to what she's about to do.
I had a lot to say. I've had a lot of time to think about things, and I didn't really know how to put it on paper. And I didn't know how much I could say or how little I should say. So what I have here is
Just
like I
say
said, an
you're
edited
sorry and
version.
move on.
She's not going to do that.
But I would like to read the more important parts that I feel that everyone should know that wasn't said in my actual trial. And on top of what I have on paper, I have, this is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. So I wanted to read this, and then if I may, I would like to address everyone in my apology on top of my statement.
You may proceed, ma'am.
Kintu Sukuroi is a kind of Japanese ceramic style, which means to repair with gold. In this tradition,
Okay. I don't even know how that's relevant.
First off, it's pronounced Kunsagi, not Kentu Sukuroi.
But I didn't know that either. But I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put that in a statement if I, yeah.
tradition, when a piece breaks, an artisan will fuse the pieces back together again using liquid gold or gold dust lacquer. So rather than being covered up, the breaks become more obvious and a brilliant new piece of art emerges from the brokenness. It embraces flaws, weakness, and imperfections, and also teaches the essence of resilience. Every crack in a ceramic piece is a part of its history, and each piece becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. This is the wisdom of Kintu Sukuroi.
Kunsagi.
In my wisdom and with all of my repairs, then, now, and ongoing, God is, has been, and will always be my artisan.
Always go to God now.
All of my gold is forgiveness. This has held me together, made me shine brighter, and overcome the damage caused by George Torres, the Torres family, the justice system, Orange County Corrections Department, social media, scoundrel detectives, infamy, defamation, ongoing constitutional rights violations, second-degree murder, forced into being pro se. Just as gold is very precious,
Uh, okay.
This is she has been broken by all those things, and so she's actually now more beautiful because she has been repaired.
So of course, can't you tell?
You shouldn't be saying this at your sentencing hearing.
Too late, man.
forgiveness is invaluable. Forgiveness is not an attempt to change or forget who, what, or how you've lived through to be so gold, but an act of grace, humility, and considerable self-compassion to be set free from sorrow. Withholding forgiveness denies your brilliance and adds even greater grief and deeper heartache, irreparable cracks on top of the already that no one deserves, no matter the pain or disappointment, untruths or injustice. It doesn't matter. As the more broken you are, even though now different than before, you've become more outstanding and more extraordinary. Above all, when you let go of blame, misunderstandings, excuses, give up your anger and cease from resentment, this is forgiven. And when you forgive, you heal. And when you heal.
So isn't it gracious that she's forgiving us?
Yeah, of course. Don't you feel better?
I do.
I'm so sorry that me just sitting here watching her be an idiot and murder her husband. When in reality, she should have just broken up with him and divorced him, whatever. I'm so happy that she has decided that I'm worthy of forgiveness.
Yeah, because we've all not been very kind to her.
No, she's a moron.
She really is.
So, I mean, she's a murdering moron too.
Yeah.
And when you heal, you move forward.
You're never moving forward.
My goal begins with George Torres, and every time he slapped me, kicked, punched, spit on, raped, stabbed.
So, here's the thing. You, very much, plotted his murder. Instead of divorcing him and going to a woman's shelter.
Plotting's probably a little harsh.
Really? How did he get into the suitcase exactly? You really thought that those two were playing hide and seek?
Oh God, no. No.
Okay.
I think they got drunk, he got into the suitcase, and then she zipped him up in there and was then just a horrible person who then beat him. But I don't think it was planned.
Well, I mean, premeditated is
Yeah, and yes, premeditation.
5 minutes before. That's what I'm saying.
Premeditation can happen almost instantly. I understand that. But based on how drunk she was, I don't think she was thinking clearly at all. When the police arrived, they did she took a breathalyzer at the scene 12 hours after she zipped him up in the suitcase, and she was at a 1.5. So she must have been hammered when she filmed those videos.
Yeah, she didn't remember them.
So I think she legitimately does not remember what happened that night.
I don't know what to tell you. I just don't. I don't think that matters.
No, it doesn't. Because I mean, she absolutely killed him. I mean, that absolutely did happen. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But she was charged with second degree, not first degree.
Fair enough.
Stabbed, choked, laughed at, pushed, pulled, dragged, whipped, tripped, stole from, lied, terrorized, threatened, humiliated, forced, degraded, made me cry.
This
Every time he
is the
tried
person she killed, by the way.
So, Sarah, here's the thing. If you would have stabbed him, it would have been better for you. Why? Because you could have said that because there's a history of domestic violence. You could have said he came at me and I defended myself.
Yes.
And you would probably not be in the situation you're currently in.
Or if she hadn't filmed it.
Well, obviously, if she would have filmed it, but like, I'm just saying that, like,
I mean, those videos are hard to get over.
that is true. Thank you. Yep. Doesn't matter. Yep. That's the perfect. Why didn't you leave? Well, it is harder than you think it is.
That is sadly true.
You think it would be that easy? You really would. You would really think it would be that easy. It is not. However, how this all ended up happening has put her in the situation that she's currently in. And I'm just saying that there are other ways to go about this.
And she also, again, I watched the trial.
I did not.
A couple different lawyers I saw covering it mentioned at no point during her testimony is she saying all those little things that would lend themselves to believe that she was honestly in fear for her life. You know, the whole, I always listened to make sure the door closed before I left the bedroom, or it always felt like I was walking on eggshells. You know, just all those little things that someone in an abusive relationship goes through.
Yes.
She never mentions it.
No, it's a very bizarre case of abuse.
Yes.
This is very strange.
I'm not denying that.
Oh no, she was obviously abused. No, I mean there's no question
Yes.
about that. It's very obvious that she was. There's like literal like police reports and photographs and
Yes.
stuff. There is no question that she was abused. This is just a very bizarre place for an abused person to be in, and it's even stranger when you look at what happened to get her here. You're just kind of like, okay, how did this happen?
This was not a case of an abused woman eventually just snapping and fighting for her freedom. It's not that kind of case. They were abusive towards each other.
Yes.
And in the moment, she was not in any immediate danger.
Nope, and that's the big problem.
That's the issue.
That's why I said if she would have stabbed him and not taken those videos, she probably would have gotten off scot-free.
Mm-hmm.
Or this would have been a way more interesting trial.
True.
Where they tried to prove that she planned it. Because that would have been the alternative.
Yeah.
In reality, she's a complete moron for getting so wasted. Also, very strange idea to get that wasted with someone who abuses you.
Yeah, that actually came up during Cross.
You felt comfortable enough to get that drunk for someone who has repeatedly been abusing you? Really?
Or I mean, I could understand, the argument of drinking in order to numb the pain. I can get that.
No, she was not to this extent.
No. But it was during Cross, she was asked, okay, so you are in so much fear for your life at this point that you feel you need to kill him. Why not just zip him up and then call the police?
Yeah.
And she had no answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. There's just like so many different ways that this should have gone down if she was actually like properly in fear of her life. Now, she could have been in fear for her life at any like at other points, right? But it's bizarre.
Yes. This entire case was just so bizarre, from the whole method of how he died. Because it's like when you hear, wait, how the hell did he get inside a suitcase? What the how? Then you add in her complete delusional narcissism. That's what makes the whole thing fascinating.
Yes, that interview, that interrogation did not help her at all. So, all right, let's continue.
Yeah.
And me defeat or destroy. I forgive George for beating me senseless, for trying to sleep because I had to go to work or my son's field trip the next day, for ruining my deceased family's heirlooms, traditions, and keepsakes, my son's furniture, destroying the television we watched together, for wrecking our townhome by breaking windows, punching holes in the walls and doors, ramming his entire body into glass doors, kicking in my front and back door over and over and over, for breaking or removing the locks from all of the doors and sometimes the knobs altogether, so I had nowhere to feel safe, including the sacred space of my son's room where he beat me bloody on his bed. For
No evidence
terrorizing
of
and
that, by the
threatening
way.
my blind and deaf dogs by leaving the gate open I built to keep them safe, telling me he hoped I'd find their bloated dead body in the pond or scrape their remains off of the pavement, for kicking them off of the bed and throwing across the room because they were
By the way, it's very hard to prove a lot of this.
See, that's the other thing.
Unless
Yes.
you file a police report immediately.
And it is a he very well may have said that.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't a good person. Again, let's not be like beat around the bush.
I mean, so would it be? Is it abuse if he says that kind of thing to her? Yes, it is. Yeah. But because she has been caught in so many lies, she has no credibility. Yeah, it's just your word that this happened, and you aren't trustworthy. So I don't know if that happened or not.
Even if it did, I'm sorry, that's not going to help your situation here because of the videos and how this happened. It's just not this isn't going to help your current situation.
No.
Trying to protect me, for threatening to make me unrecognizable to my son by breaking all of the bones in my face, like his brother Moses did to him after he kept seeing all of the bruises from George beating me, like all of the times their father beat their mother, for all of the drunken rages and fist fights with so many neighbors when wandering into their apartments during hunting expeditions after I had escaped, for drowning me in liquor and wine because I didn't want to drink, causing me to urinate on myself, then
you didn't want to drink. Really? Really?
Well, I mean, to be fair, like she could have just not wanted to drink every other night, but that one, you know what I mean? We don't have any evidence to show that.
Except the testimony of all her neighbors who said, oh, they were both drunk all the time.
I understand that, but it's like, never mind.
I don't believe that she only drank because of George. I think she was an alcoholic.
There's a possibility of that too.
Yeah.
butting the end of the bottle in my face, giving me 2 black eyes and a bloody nose, for making me experience what it is to be sodomized, threatening to kill my friends and the neighbors when they checked on me to make sure I
Also, just the this is not the place for this. By the
No,
way.
this is the sentencing hearing. This is
This
when you're
is not
supposed
the
to be.
place.
This is when you're supposed to be showing contrition before the judge.
In reality, I mean, we don't even need to comment on any of this because, quite frankly, none of this is relevant. It's actually just making your situation worse. It's proving further that you had a reason to murder him.
One of the lawyers I saw watching this at one point said, before the sentencing, was thinking, the judge is I'm thinking probably somewhere between 25 and 30 years is what the judge will give her.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Abuse,
Then-
spouse, blah, 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 yeah.
Then during this,
Mhm.
he went, "Oh my God, she's giving herself life, isn't she?"
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. It's like, it doesn't even, our commentary on this doesn't even matter because none of this should be happening right now. None of it. It doesn't matter because none of this should. This is literally the worst place that you could have told this, but this was the only time that she was going to get this type of attention and like to be able to say all of this. So this is all about getting the things out that she wanted said in front of everyone, right?
Mhm.
And that's the only reason this is happening right now. She doesn't really see it as not helping her. She sees it as like, this is like my time, to get my proper side of the story out.
Mhm.
So
Everything that you lawyers prevented me from saying, I'm saying it now.
yes,
It's like, okay, you're not helping yourself at all.
no, that's not about that.
was
Yeah,
alive and in one
Oh,
piece.
sorry.
Also, it is something to keep in mind. The week before this actually went to trial, she was offered a plea deal of 15 years, and she turned it down.
No, of course she did.
So, bet you're regretting that, aren't you, Sarah?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know if she would be regretting it or not.
I would be.
Yeah, but you also wouldn't do what she did.
Well, that's true.
So
I can't imagine myself being in her position.
no.
For threatening to burn down our townhome and set my car on fire because I got a job. For holding me hostage on weekends my son was supposed to come over by keeping my keys around his neck, my phone in his crotch, and a butcher knife stuck in the middle of the table as a warning not to ask anything or try to leave. For stabbing me in the leg and not letting me call 911 for an ambulance or seek help, where I nearly bled to death until I concocted a lie to save him from being arrested.
Remember, his
For
family's
destroying
there.
my phone with a hammer because my son called. For me experiencing
One of the reasons why I said this is not the time for this.
ever being arrested and after today, prison. For beating me almost blind, crushing my occipital lobe. For having me experience what it means to see stars like in the cartoon.
Orbital lobe.
Or orbital bone, not the occipital lobe. That's part of the brain.
She's not smart, Josh.
Yeah, obviously.
Where a character has a tall lump on their head. I had that too, and many times. For dragging me downstairs by my hair in the middle of the night just to sit next to him. For taking my car driving drunk with my debit card to buy more alcohol while I slept, even after I kindly explained the importance of my car to take my son to school foremost, me to work, and he to his batterers intervention classes and probation officer meetings, where I would be forced to sit for hours in the parking lot waiting for him.
Go home.
Okay, so she's mad that while he took your car to go buy booze while you were sleeping. So that means the car was back by the time you woke up?
No.
Okay.
No.
And you had to wait at his batterer's intervention classes for hours. What? You have the car. Why not like go to the park, the library, or go home? Like, why did you have to wait for his class to end? If it's hours long, go do something. Why do you have to wait in the parking lot?
Well, there could have been like an abusive threat involving that. However, again,
What would he do?
No, I understand that it's not about that. It's about what what would he do, and it's the abuse. Like it's the mindset of that. However, she didn't say any of that. That's me just actually helping her out involving that. She said none of that. So I have to sit here and just say that. Well, that honestly, she just sat there for no reason because she didn't say that he threatened to do something to her kid or something. Like if she left, so.
God, I feel bad for her kid. I mean, could you imagine the embarrassment that kid's going through now?
I don't even know where to begin with that.
Yeah. I think he was 9 when she was arrested, and that was almost 5 years ago. So he's he's an early teen now.
Hey, isn't that your mom?
Isn't that your mom making the most Karen speech to ever Karen?
Yeah.
For causing me so much trauma and pain, mentally, physically, emotionally, I had to be hospitalized more than once.
Again, I'm
For
not doubting
destroying
that.
my reputation and integrity. For my M for murderer scarlet letter. Not letting me feel safe to live.
What?
Did she seriously blame? Did she blame George for dying, thus labeling her a murderer?
Yeah, you killed him?
You kill one person and you're a murderer. It's all. What about my needs?
I know, right? So, yeah, that's how that works. So you kill someone and you become a murderer?
Yeah, by definition. Yeah.
Yep.
Even if you do kill someone in self-defense and you're justified, it still doesn't change the fact that you are now technically a killer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just how it works.
Yeah. That
To
is
live,
exactly how that
talk to
works.
other people, spend time with my son, have a job, friendships, simply go to the bathroom with the door closed, or go to sleep soundly or comfortably. I forgive George for lying, for him trying in so many ways, so many times, to end me with his terrifying love.
To end
I also
me with
forgive
his
the Torres
terrifying
family,
love.
his mother and father foremost,
Dramatic.
also his 2 ex-wives and daughters, all for knowing who George was capable of and has done in the past, his history of violence and where he learned it, then to keep turning a blind eye when I would ask for help.
Ah, well, you took care of that problem, didn't you?
Well, I mean, she certainly solved that problem, didn't she?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, so he had 2 exes that he was also abusive to, and somehow they didn't murder him.
Yeah.
They went and got helped. So what did they do that you did not do?
And yeah, there's also and
I will say they should have pressed charges, by the way. Okay, and tried to get at, and maybe they did. This man, if he's as bad as you say, he definitely should have been in jail. And I have to wonder the people who had the power to charge him and send him to jail, why that was not done.
Probably because I believe he was originally from Philly, so I probably Philly DAs being weak.
I don't know anything about you Northerners, okay? So I don't know what you do
Yeah.
up there in the north with all your snow.
Yeah. Us Pittsburghers do not like Philadelphia. They ruin the state.
But do they have good cheesesteak?
I mean, they do.
Okay. Well, we have to give them that. Just like we have to give New York that they have good pizza.
Chicago's better.
I actually don't know. Is Chicago the deep dish one?
Hell yeah.
I'm not a deep dish person. I like thin crust. I know, tragic. I'm a thin crust girly.
I thought you Texans liked things big.
I'm sorry, have you seen like a true New York slice?
I mean, that's true.
Thick does not mean like not big, okay? Like you can have some thin pizza that's gigantic. Nah, I like cracker crust. Like I like thin, really good thin crust pizza.
I like that. I like my crust to have meat to it.
Now I don't want to feel like I'm putting a loaf of bread in my mouth when I'm eating pizza.
Yeah, but then if the balance is all right, then it makes everything better.
It's just too much. Then I'm eating a fucking casserole. Yeah, you like pizza casserole. Deal with it.
You like pizza crackers, so like,
Yeah, delicious. Lunchables has a whole thing dedicated to that.
Oh yes, Lunchables.
my argument here, Your Honor, I bring forth Lunchables.
the pinnacle of culinary perfection.
Hell
Lunchables.
yeah. Oh yes. Also, is your pizza rolls, do they have a thick crust? No, it's thin. Yeah, I raised you pizza rolls too.
Never been a huge pizza roll fan.
Ah, disgusting. Why are we even friends?
I don't know.
Ugh. Anyway.
All of his siblings, including Farrell Torres, who is now on his way to prison for stabbing the mother of their baby in the side of their head.
Oh, delightful.
For every
And how's that relevant to your case?
Oh, it just shows that there's a family history of it and a reality. I now need to know more about the parents of these kids because, wow, you failed so epically. I don't even know what to do with you.
True.
Although
everyone who knew
I
what
will
George was
say,
doing to me, sometimes how and
Ah.
when, but
I will say sometimes it's not the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I say that it is, but most of the time, because most of the time it is, but maybe they were good people and they got a couple of shitty humans accidentally. And there were outside forces they didn't have the control. So I don't know anything about their family. Doesn't fucking matter because Sarah, this is your case about you murdering their son. I don't know what their parenting has to do with any of this.
Whose mother was here on this day and testified about how much she misses her boy, which was absolutely heartbreaking to listen to.
Yes, that's the point of those testimonies.
Yeah, it is. And so like she's forgiving. She's such a good person that she is forgiving the abuse that the whole Torres family did to her. Isn't she thoughtful?
No, none of this is relevant. In fact, pretty much most of our commentary on this isn't relevant to what's happening in her case right now that she keeps talking about.
Yeah.
Irrelevant stuff.
She keeps painting it as these are the cracks in her the whole Kensuke art style. So this is all the gold that now forms her beautiful brokenness.
No. Just saying.
allowed and enabled. I forgive them for caring too late. I hope they all ask themselves while quiet and comfortable in bed at night the uneasy question, what could I have done to stop this from happening to both of them?
Okay, again, I don't want to victim blame, all right? Because I know you were abused. However, you did have the ability to leave a few times.
Yes.
Right? Like when you were sitting in your car by yourself, right? You could have picked up your son from school and fucking left. All right. I just
in her own testimony, she mentioned that sometimes she would run away and spend the night at her ex-husband's house.
Oh wow. Okay. I did not know that. But
yes. Okay. So it's like there's no reason for it, lady. You could have just left.
You could have, actually. So a lot of problem with abuse cases is that they can't, because they have their shit. They have the spouse, male or female,
Yeah.
Mental and emotional lockdown to the point they feel like they can't leave.
Right.
Whereas you actually left
We're-
several times and came back, so I don't know what to do with you now.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity that a lot of abuse partners wish they had, and you kept coming back.
Because she's trying to play the victim card when she's only half of the victim here.
Yeah, the other victim is 6 feet under. So
Yes. And during closing, the prosecution brought out the suitcase and said, "This is George.
Powerful.
This is George Torres's coffin." It's like,
damn, that's pretty hardcore. Okay.
It's like, okay, damn.
Right. Let's continue.
And after all the
We still
times
have an
Sarah
hour
tried
movie to
to
get
by
through.
asking for help from all of
Right.
us and so many times. Another great contributor of my gold is social media with its greed, insensitivity, distraction.
Okay. All right.
Yay! We
Your
made the list.
Your shit was fucking broadcasted because it was released to the public, okay? And everyone laughed at your dumbass, okay? Because you're a dumbass for what
Yeah.
you did, okay? That was one of the stupidest.
Coming up with the whole "we were playing hide and seek" excuse was just what the hell?
You do realize nobody believe. Like, you're going to sit here and think that. You really think I'm going to think that you, an abuse victim, and him, an abuser, were playing hide and go seek and doing puzzles and making like baked goods? Really? Did you have a picket fence in front of your house too? What do you think this is?
At the time, she was 42 years old.
Yeah, she sounded like she was like 16. Is how she was trying to sound like. With
Yeah,
like her golden boyfriend. Like
at the time of this whole thing happened, she was 42 years old. What 42-year-old plays hide and seek when they don't have little kids?
I would be straight with you. If Loki came up to me and asked if we wanted to play hide and seek, I would have to say, how much have you like partook in anything? What is hiding in our house right now that is making you think like this? Like, what is this
Right.
nonsense? Are you okay? Are you stroking out? What's happening?
Yeah.
What is this hide and seek thing? What do you mean you don't want to watch like a movie, play video games or something? Like, you want to play hide and seek in our house? How? Where are we hiding in our house? It's not big enough to play hide and seek with two adults. At all.
Like I said, what 42-year-old is playing hide and seek with that doesn't have small children?
Now, if they were playing hide and seek, let's say with like they had a dog, right? And hide and seek is like a game they play with their dog, where like you put up, you've seen the videos. You put up the blanket and then you pretend to go away, and then you play hide and seek.
Okay, that's different.
That's fine. That's the only other. I'm saying
Yeah.
that's the only acceptable exception to not having kids and playing hide and seek as
Yeah,
adults.
because you're playing with your dog.
Yeah, and if it's
You're
a
not-
game
you're-
for both of you, it's different.
Right.
Like it's a family activity between you, your partner, and the dog.
Right.
I don't know what an adult couple is doing playing hide and seek in their house. Like, if it was like a romantic thing where like, oh, they made like a scavenger hunt, that's fine. That's cute, right? Ends with like a picnic date or something. That's adorable. That's pretty cool. I don't know what in your house. What do you do? How big is your house that you think you can even play hide and seek in? All right, I don't. Do you not realize like how small everything is compared to you as an adult? And you said townhome. Okay, townhomes have stairs. So at any point someone is going up and down those stairs, you're gonna know. All right. Townhomes are usually narrow with 2 to 3 floors. So
and that actually came up during the trial because if you remember in the 2 videos that were made famous from this whole case, the suitcase was moved during in between the videos.
Yes.
One of the locations was downstairs.
Yes.
And her neighbors testified that they heard a loud banging noise of what sounded like something falling down the stairs around the time that George was in the suitcase.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
So, yeah, and she insists that they got that time wrong. It was actually the previous day. They're just out to get her.
Why?
She didn't really have an excuse as to why they wanted to get her. They just didn't like her.
Oh, okay. I mean, that is true in some cases, but like, really? They're like being
These were witnesses. The witnesses that had that town home, they were just college roommates. They have since both moved out of Florida,
of course.
and
That's why.
they were subpoenaed back into the state to testify to this. So it's like they're going through a lot to just to try to stick it to you, lady. Or maybe they're just saying what they heard that night.
No. She's innocent. Can't you tell?
The whole world's against her.
Yep.
An obvious exploitation and advantageous gain from my criminal case as a whole, and for sentencing me by anticipation as a result of ignorance and hate, conjured and fabricated by the organized crime that is social media, which
Yes.
It should be pointed out, because of how narcissistic she is, she went through multiple attorneys.
Yes.
The attorney that she actually did have for the trial actually saw that the judge had ruled that she has forfeited her right to counsel because she's gone through so many lawyers, that she's forfeited her right to counsel. And he felt that's not fair. And so he offered his services to her pro bono.
What a good guy.
He saw that. He saw that on social media. You have your attorney because of social media, Sarah.
No, it's evil. Maybe she doesn't like him.
I mean, he did have an impossible task.
Well, I mean, I have to say that bravo for that attorney whose values were like high enough. You know what I mean? That he saw something he thought was wrong and decided to do it, even though he wasn't getting anything out of it. So I will give that lawyer props for doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have touched the case.
I wouldn't have either, but his value system was strong enough, and he thought that was wrong that he did it anyway. So I will give him, I'll give him credit for that.
Yeah. So because you have a constitutional right to counsel. That is a protection in the United States Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
So if she did have to represent herself, it would have been a strong case for appeal, because she's asking for counsel and it's not provided.
Yes.
That it's a constitutional right. So
Correct.
A judge can't say you don't have that right anymore. So because an attorney actually stepped forward to represent her in this case, she had a fair chance. It didn't work out for her, but I don't think you can say she didn't have a fair chance. She had representation.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, shall we continue? I want to
Yes.
hear more about how it's my fault.
condemned me in the court of global public opinion since the beginning. My family law case is the new prey waiting to be picked apart and pillaged from me being made infamous by social media in my criminal case. It It simply seems I cannot forgive and be forgiven and move forward.
And what she's talking about there is, so after she was arrested, her husband just he stopped paying alimony because it's like, well, what's she gonna need it for?
Yeah,
And
that's true.
and she was fighting like, until the courts say so, you still need to pay me alimony, which is, she's technically correct on that. So they've been having a so she's been having a civil case with her ex-husband for alimony payments. Since she's gotten life now, he should be released from any financial responsibility.
Yes.
But so that's what she's talking about, how people are now targeting her family law case. Like, oh, okay. Family law cases tend to be sealed. Just saying.
Yeah.
Social media has made me a pariah. It has caused great oppression and
No,
undeniable
murdering
disadvantages,
your boyfriend
especially by
get into a
broadcasting and
pariah.
manipulating my cases
Yeah.
online. In my criminal case, as a result, my opportunities to be given a fair, proper, and uninfluenced, successful conclusion was heavily depleted and poisoned. I forgive them.
No. Murdering your boyfriend is what led to you not having a successful conclusion.
Yes.
And the simple fact, just because your case is well publicized does not mean that the entire jury pool has been poisoned. I guarantee you, Sarah Boone, the people of the jury never heard of you.
Most likely not.
I mean, they found people who were able they found people for the jury for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yes.
You mean to tell me that you're more publicized than Johnny Depp there, Sarah?
Yes.
I guess she is.
Yes.
Also, all of the media tycoons for not having a life of their own, trying so desperately to make themselves seem so right by making me appear so wrong. Forgiveness for prejudgment, ridiculous theatrics, lies, making and taking blood money from my and others' misfortunes, accidents, and catastrophes. It's all over their hands and their keyboards. And even after all that's been said and done, theorized, hypothesized, scrutinized, and blasphemed, in my case.
Blasphemed?
Yes. Yes.
You shall not take Sarah Boone's name in vain.
Yes. Yes. I want to know. Tell me more. I want to know what all I did.
In the end, I forgive myself for not choosing my life sooner, for not being more brave, vigilant, bolder, and outspoken, stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, for being hopeless, desperate, simple-minded, weak, and inexperienced.
Well, I grant you simple-minded.
Life of domestic violence,
I agree with
and
that.
the vicious cycle of never ends. I had nothing to compare to. I've never been hit by a man ever before in my life.
Okay.
I was raised hitting a woman was wrong and should never happen.
Well,
no
it happened.
excuse. I forgive myself for not escaping permanently, for not fighting back sooner to save myself, my son, my dogs, home, and car.
Yes.
Having 20/20 hindsight, thinking of everything I could have done differently or better to avoid the outcome.
Yes. There's a lot.
I will grant you that. I will grant her that she probably thinks about what she could have done differently.
Yes, but she didn't, and there we are.
Yeah.
I think about this every day since. Also, of all the good days we had together, for him at least, while I was constantly in hyperdrive, high alert, and paranoid, making sure I did everything right all the time. If not, the great possibility I would be ended as George threatened me with so many times before. I forgive myself for falling in love with a monster, and no matter how grotesque he may become, I still loved him, hoped, and forgave. I tried breaking the spell so he wouldn't be a monster anymore. I saw who he was inside. George made me then, now, and always love him for all of his cracks also. We made each other our own brilliant pieces of art from the cracks and repairs. Unfortunately, not all cracks can be. In all of my forgiveness, George is my greatest lesson and will forever be a part of me. I
Yeah,
think
'cause you're
of him
convinced of
every
life.
day and still speak to him when alone on the rec yard. I ask his forgiveness and that he looks for me at the gates of heaven so I can tell him how sorry I am.
I don't know if either one of y'all are going up there, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You definitely. I don't know if he is. Probably not. I'd guess. But that has nothing to do with what we're doing here today. So
Oh my god, she's just so full of herself. It is amazing.
yep. And I'm just very quickly starting to lose my patience with her. So she has definitely weighing down all my patience. So by the time we get to that animation, I'm gonna have 0 patience left to deal with nonsense.
Yay!
That's so good. Ugh,
All right.
that
Remember,
just makes-
don't blaspheme her.
Right, yeah, no, of course I won't take her name in vain.
I have never heard someone refer to themselves as being blasphemed.
I think she just searched for a synonym.
Ah. That's the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not take Sarah Boone's name in vain.
Yes.
Sorry I am, endlessly, and that I never stopped loving him. In all of it and still. When I first came to jail, I put my mat under my bed and cried all day and all night for months,
Don't
only
dare.
falling asleep from being so exhausted with grief. I wrote him letters. I wrote his family and his
Oh, I'm
daughters,
sure they'd like
apologizing
that.
for asking for their forgiveness. But due to fear that my life or sons would be jeopardized, I did not send.
Wow, well, that's useless.
Also, she can't say anything without taking a dig at somebody. I was afraid that they might cause harm to my family if I dared apologize to them because they're such monsters.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Wow.
I
I'm
mean, to
sorry.
be fair, they could be. I
I
don't
cannot
know.
begin
This
to
isn't about
fathom
them.
any of their grief and sadness. Please forgive me.
It literally doesn't matter if they're monsters
Almost
or not.
everything
because
reminds me of him. Seeing
that's
my
not why we're
stab
here.
wound, especially, it's every day, especially.
Had to mention the fact that he stabbed her once.
Yeah,
Had to get that in there.
No, Josh, I don't know. She's already mentioned him stabbing her twice before
I know.
this photo.
But had to
Yeah.
mention that, had to get it in again. Just had to.
Yeah. No, of course.
Like, everything reminds me of him. Even my stab wound scar. Like okay.
From
lady.
him? Yeah, it probably reminds you of him. What do you mean?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I just don't give a shit, Sarah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. You are also a horrible person, so I don't care.
Yeah.
That all I really did live through. George haunts me. He is everywhere.
Yeah,
I
he's why
believe
you're in
because I do
jail.
still love him, think of him, and
You
miss
murdered
his
him.
laugh the most. In my heart, I know he is with me and understands
He
that
is
this
not with
tragedy was
you.
not intentional.
You make sure
I
of
hope
that.
everyone can, his family foremost. I didn't mean for this to happen. Please wholeheartedly know that, and always, I would never. Forgive me, George. Forgive me, Torres family.
He can't. He's
Forgive
dead.
me, Judge Cranick. To the entire planet, please forgive me.
I won't.
I graciously
don't
and
care
humbly
enough.
ask for consideration for forgiveness to
I graciously and humbly ask. If you have to say it's gracious and humble, chances are it's not.
True.
If you say that, by definition, it's not humble.
Most likely not.
be extended intent for reconciliation and restoration for all of us to move forward. My apology is profuse and ceaseless. Allow me, please, to brush off the muck, wipe the blood off of my face, and fix the cuts in my skin. I ask
What
for
about the blood on
understanding
your
in what really
hands?
happened and for how long.
No.
For second chances, repentance, and redemption to advocate for all domestic violence survivors, to help them overcome, heal, and still hope.
She's an
always.
advocate
Make their
now.
voices heard, to
No.
confidently walk with all of their scars on the outside and the inside, to help them not ever become a
And if she did become like a domestic violence advocate while in prison, that could be something. But there has been no indication that she has worked with any of those groups while she's been incarcerated.
You know, whenever a domestic partner, an abused person ends up killing the person that abuses them, usually they use words like, "Oh, I had to."
Yeah.
I had no other choice. I felt like
Yeah,
I had
he left me no choice.
It was my life or theirs. You know, I
didn't want this to happen. Yeah.
But finger pointing and whining and oh woe is me and all that stuff from her. So I don't know what to tell you. I just don't feel like, and you don't have to be sorry for it because if he abused you, you're probably not sorry, right? If it's as violent as you say it is, you're probably not sorry. And you know what? That's fine. However, you can push your pride aside at the trial. Okay?
Remember, this is the edited version.
I know. Oh, I know that.
A casualty of
none of
domestic
this
violence
matters.
as so many others, to stop the abuse and maltreatment before it's too late. There is always hope, and you can survive. In my soft-spoken conclusion, I ask this.
In my soft-spoken conclusion.
To be fair, she is speaking softly, but that's also like on purpose. Because she was probably coached to do that, I would imagine.
It's also, but when you hear something like soft-spoken conclusion, that's like the stage direction.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to say that part out loud. That's the shit. That's like the instructions off center of the page, and not the script you're supposed to be reading, Sarah. Like,
right? Just like, okay, softly say this, and then in conclusion.
Lower the moon when this character starts talking. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say lower the moon. Yeah. Yeah, you weren't supposed to say lower the moon, Juliet, you dumbass. What is happening?
But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? Look stage left.
Yeah, exit stage, right? Wait.
Would I be the darn celebrated woman of the year if it were I
You
who
are
died?
no.
How many daughters, mothers, sisters, aunts, grandmothers, nieces, and friends have been because they did? I am a survivor.
Yeah, and he ain't.
Learn to do good, seek justice,
You did not do good.
oppressors,
You're
defend the
not Batman.
fatherless, plead for the widow. Isaiah 1:17.
Don't quote the Bible.
All encompassing, protect the abused.
Stop it. God doesn't want anything to do with you.
Ms. Boone, is that the end of your?
Thank fuck that's the end of it. Oh my god. That was some of the dumbest thing.
So that was her statement.
Wow. Did she actually say, hey, guys,
I'm sorry?
I'm kind of sorry it got to this point. Okay, I didn't feel like I had any other choice.
I mean, she did eventually get there, but it was after so much bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, notice how at no point did she say, I'm sorry to my son. That that he has to now grow up without a mother. Like,
no. Let's be honest with ourselves, Josh. He had grown up without a mom for a while.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And I don't mean the past 5 years.
No. Yeah. Because he testified, her ex-husband testified at the trial that they had joint custody, but she would often not pick him up because she was drunk.
Well, great.
So she was already a terrific mom.
Yeah. So I'm saying is basically at this point, like, I hope he gets better. Is he staying with his dad now?
I believe he is, yeah.
All right, good. Your dad actually seems like he is. Oh, I don't know if he's a good person. He's better than the 3 that I've been given so far. Okay, the dead
Yeah.
one, the one that's going away for murder. I don't.
Right.
As long as he's just a decent dad, all right. He will be leaps and bounds better than what he had before. So I hope that kid gets therapy or whatever he needs to in order to get over this, so he can have a happy, successful life and move on past this.
And I think there is a very important lesson that this whole trial can provide for us.
What?
Ultimately, Sarah Boone's going away for the rest of her life, so she won at hide and seek.
I don't know. Didn't George technically win?
Well, I mean, she found him.
Yeah, but like, she didn't let him leave the hiding spot.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, like, just because I know you're hiding behind the sofa, like, if I do not, like, actually properly, like, tag you out and I just leave you there and just say, hey, I found you and walk away, technically speaking, you're supposed to tag them, right? Or I don't know how anyone else played hide and seek. Ours had some elements of tag associated with it.
Yeah, that's how I usually played it too.
So. They both won hide and seek.
I
And they both
suppose
lost.
so.
And
Well-
they both lost.
Well, yeah, they did. So yeah, that was
horrible.
wasn't it?
Thank you for sharing that with us. That was awful. And I'm sorry, guys. I was just so like baffled by that. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just. Oh my
I just-
goodness, Pod
I
Racing was here too. I'm sorry, anyone I missed that came in. Just hello, hello, guys. I wasn't looking at the chat at all.
Yeah.
Damn.
It broke your brain a little bit, didn't you?
It did. It was just so great because now we have to watch an hour-long animation.
I use that term very loosely.
God. That was horrible. Yeah. What the fuck, Josh? That was bad. See, even our chat's like, why did you put us through that, Josh? I don't know. I don't know why he did that, guys.
Because I am an evil.
He is an evil. That is true.
Mwahaha. And before Christmas too.
Yeah,
How
what
dare
the
I?
hell, man? Let me get the other videos set up. Oh, we are done with that one, yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right.
Yeah, we don't need to listen now to her oral statement where she just
God, no.
continues
Oh
to
my God.
like that was what she read.
Absolutely not.
Then she wanted to make an oral statement too. It's like,
No.
shut
No.
up.
Nope, Sarah, we've given you too much time already. All right, we're not doing
And
that.
then literally right after she goes back to the counsel table, the lawyer goes, or the judge goes, all right, I sentence you to life. Bye.
Total fucking Lou. I don't know
He
what
didn't
thought was gonna
offer
happen.
any explanation, no dressing down of the defendant, nothing like that. He just went, you are hereby sentenced to life. Good luck to you. And that's it.
I am so disgusted of what I just heard. Toodaloo.
Which, I mean, there was also one of the bizarre things, and it's probably just a clerical issue, but they sentenced her to life, but then they gave her credit for the time that she's already served. Like, what difference does that make?
Well, I mean, it's probably just it's like something you have to do, right?
Like I said, it's probably a clerical thing that they have to do, but it was just weird that they had to put in credit for time served when she's going to be in there for life.
Hey, well, part of your life sentence has already been met. Yeah, that's fun.
Which also, And this is something I did not know. Florida don't mess around. Life means life. There's no parole in Florida.
Yeah, in my opinion, parole should be a rare privilege for those who. It shouldn't be for violent crime. That should be incredibly rare. For non-violent crime, obviously, there should be
I'm fine with parole for nonviolent crime. Yeah.
Me too. I have no issue. Oh, hey, it's not legal to smoke some of the
It's like,
the
yeah, this
marijuana.
guy,
Yeah, you're not getting
or
obviously you're gonna get parole.
yeah, or even something like yeah, this guy embezzled thousands of dollars from his clients and everything, and he's a scumbag, but he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't physically harm people.
I don't know. White collar's a whole different monster that I honestly don't know enough about to be able to tell you. I really don't. I don't know pretty much anything about white collar crime. Most of the true crime I watch, it's like
It tends to be violent crime for
it
me.
tends to be violent crime. Generally, it's like murder is usually what it's surrounded by. And then a lot of the body cam stuff is like bad driving. That's like could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Driving is a good chunk of it. It's like 80% of it.
Have you seen that Karen bicycle dude that blew his gasket at the kid?
Of course I did. What do you mean?
Oh my God.
Of course I did. Dude just wanted to go skating with his bro, and he's just sitting there like, oh my God, your car came near me. It's like, yeah, we're on a road.
He's like, you can't leave. I'm holding you to the police gate here. Like, that's called imprisonment. You can't do that.
Yeah, that's called like false imprisonment. That's illegal. That's like a crime.
I did like
you could push it to be kidnapping. Hostage, being held hostage.
If I was the kid, I would have pushed for those charges.
Yeah, I just think he found him so amusing that he was just like,
yeah.
I mean, and the police you saw the follow-up, right, where the police charged him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because the guys, he showed him the video that he took on his phone. So he's like, well, I've seen the evidence of you causing a disturbance, so you're getting a citation too, and we'll sort this out later.
Yep.
And like suddenly now that he had consequences, he's like, oh, let's just pretend this didn't happen. Like, you made it an issue, dude.
Like,
you already made it.
No, you called 911 and we sent a police officer out there. Something's probably going to happen, most likely. Yeah. You've escalated it to the point of this. So
yeah. And then where he's like, I was trying to prevent him from leaving, and the cop's like, yeah, you can't do that. You're not law enforcement. I can do that. You can't.
Yeah. Very rare circumstances will allow you to do that. Like it's one of those like, hey, all right, I was at this convenience store and this guy tried to rob it, and I basically like punched him in the back of the head, and then we tied him up and we waited for the police to arrive. A lot of it has to do with we're waiting till the police arrive to get there, and a crime was like being committed. And then we did something about it, right? Because there weren't police there. That's usually what that is.
And that person's considered a hero unless they're on a New York subway.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's like, what took that jury so damn long?
It's New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's probably like one or two assholes who weren't going to allow it to be, because that's one of those unanimous ones, right? Where they had to have a unanimous verdict.
Well, yes, but it was also the jury was deadlocked on the manslaughter charge.
That's too, yeah.
You're absolutely deadlocked, and eventually the prosecution decided, well, let's just drop that charge, and then he was exonerated from everything else. It's like, what?
Well, to be fair, like I could see where they would struggle with manslaughter. If you look at the definition of what manslaughter is, it is a gray area of where he was on that. But I mean, it also has to do with intention. So it depends on what you read into his intentions. You know what I mean?
His intention was
So-
protecting people, obviously.
No, I know, but that might not be how some people read his intentions. Therefore, that's probably why they got into like a deadlock. I'm just saying that like the manslaughter is like I could understand why some people would be more. How do I put this? I could understand where people were coming from, even though I fully believe that he was protecting people, but not. It's just
The prosecution's own witnesses said they didn't feel safe on the train and considered him a hero.
it doesn't matter sometimes.
I know.
I mean, people form a strong opinion, and yeah, it's just like. So I understand how they got deadlocked on the manslaughter. I do not agree with it. Obviously, getting like that. I thought it's fairly obvious. He was protecting people.
Should have gotten the key to the city. That's what it should have happened.
To New York, is that really a reward?
Well, I mean, it used to be.
How about like a week of free pizza?
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Anyway, movie.
Exciting.
Nothing like great animation.
This would be great.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Let's go, guys.
just so you are aware, this made it through copyright without any issues.
Beautiful.
So there shouldn't be any problems.
My favorite. All right, I'm going to turn this down slightly. There we go.
Well, not too much. I noticed we had an issue last week. Like we were overpowering the movie last week.
Were we? It didn't sound like it from my end. Okay. Well, hold on. I'll give it half.
Okay.
Put it half. I'll turn down my volume, and we'll be good.
I mean, our fans weren't able to watch Wizzo.
Oh, I think we just did them a favor, quite frankly. No, we did y'all a favor. That was awful.
Okay. All I know is this is a kids movie.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Alrighty.
I watched a little bit just to make sure it wasn't like a secret porno someone made, but
Yeah.
okay. Don't you love the VHS rip?
I love it. Why does it sound like there's 3 different Christmas songs being played at the same time? Like, this sounds like when you walk down the mall on Christmas, but every individual store has its own music playing.
Yes.
All is playing a song. This is
Yes.
what that sounds like. Okay, we finally found one song to play. Wow, who the fuck overlaid that? That was an awful choice.
Santa's Christmas elf named Calvin.
All right, Calvin. You're kind of horrifying to me. All right, Billie Jean.
Billie Jean Oxycodone?
Oxendines.
Hamburger? Awesome.
Ooh.
Damn it, I'm hungry now. Talking over copyright music, even though this went through copyright without issue.
Oh.
Dorothy Brown Green narrator. I have no idea who you are.
No, this might be copyrighted. We don't want it to be copyrighted. If we would just hurry up. We're gonna take our sweet damn time.
They are committed to jingling all the way, aren't they?
Hard to sing to the beat. Hurry up. Oh my god, hurry up. Barry, I don't care.
Hey now. Be sure to tip your
It
waitresses.
was Christmas Eve at the North Pole.
Okay.
Time grew near for Santa's journey to begin.
Okay.
The lights in the toy shop shone brightly,
The background
revealing
didn't
toys
change.
stacked end
This
to
isn't
end.
animated, is it? It's just still pictures. It's like a
Yes.
slide.
7 of the elves were
PowerPoint. Oh my
super
god.
fast, making the last of the shiny new
It's
toys.
nothing but
But
stills.
the 8th
It's just
little
a
elf
PowerPoint.
named
Okay.
Calvin worked slowly,
It's a movie.
making
No,
lots
it's a
of
PowerPoint.
noise.
Hey,
Santa-
I have been in meetings where we've had multiple hour-long PowerPoints. Okay, all right, I've dealt with this where it's like, hey, could we not just have sent out the PowerPoint? We could have reviewed it, and then if anyone had any questions, we do like a 15-minute meeting instead of 2.5-hour meeting. No, you're just gonna read off the PowerPoint like a shitty college professor. Okay, thanks, guys.
I would like to also point out the definition of a movie is motion pictures.
And technically, things are moving on the screen. It's just they're going in. They're fading in and out with the fade transition. So,
I mean, that is true, but it's just stills. The still
Yeah.
is not a motion picture. It's not a picture in motion.
no, they're just using fade.
There's editing. I will grant them that. There is editing.
There is, in fact, editing. Yes.
Examined closely his long Christmas list while relaxing in his
Where's the-
favorite chair.
Ah!
He ate a cookie and drank some milk.
Did
as
he?
Snowflakes filled the air.
Why does reindeer look dead?
The reindeer were anxious to
It was like
begin the
frozen in
flight
the snow.
along the star-kissed Milky Way. They could hardly wait
They're not-
to hear the bells jingling
I'm
as
still
they
indoors,
pulled
guys.
the magical sleigh. Soon
The
a
hell's
full
that?
moon would be rising, and the sleigh would glide through the sky. So hurriedly the elves made toy after toy.
Ah!
All Calvin did was try. Poor little Calvin. He did his best, but
But he screwed
nothing
up.
he made looked right.
Damn
He
it,
was
Calvin!
forgetful, careless, and slow. His work was truly a sight. He made a doll with bright red hair and dressed her in a calico gown
Okay.
with rings on her fingers and
It's just a
bows in her
Raggedy
hair,
Ann doll.
but her legs were upside down. He
How
made a
did you
wagon
screw
and
that up,
painted
Calvin?
it blue.
What?
Certain some boy it would thrill. But Calvin made a terrible mistake. His wagon
Okay, so he's just like the majority of directors nowadays. They just need an assistant to tell them no. So Calvin got all the way to the end and then stitched the legs upside down. But if he would have had an assistant, then they would have told him, don't do that. Oh my god, Calvin's George Lucas.
Oh my goodness. Santa, I am disappointed in your supervision skills. This is how did Calvin get to such a prestigious position?
Oh yeah, he should definitely be very low on the totem pole.
He's the Aryan ideal, so he's a white supremacist elf. That's what's clearly going on.
So they kept him around for diversity. I got
Yes,
you. Okay.
obviously.
had
Obviously,
only
yeah.
one wheel.
Calvin, you suck.
Calvin, you need to be euthanized.
The foreman of the elves was named Heilig. He inspected
Yeah,
every single toy. He wanted each gift to be
Why does he look evil?
Seems highly. When was this made?
71, 72, I believe it was.
Okay. Does he look vaguely Russian?
A touch.
Okay. That might be something.
perfect for each special girl and boy. Calvin
That's the
made a
face you
bow
don't
and some
want saying
arrows,
makes something
while
special for the
Heilig
children.
inspected a swing.
Yeah.
Poor Calvin whittled the arrows much too short. And the
Damn it,
lame bow
Calvin!
had no
Calvin.
string.
Stop giving him work.
Heilig was tired, But there was work.
Oh my God. Calvin, you are useless.
Kevin, you're actually just actively making things worse.
I mean, there's making a mistake here or there, but not putting a string on a bow? How do you screw that up?
I mean, he's just like, I mean, genuinely speaking, like,
It's
he
just a
should just
curved
be thrown
stick
out.
then.
He's making more work for other people.
Yeah.
To do. No time to waste for a break. There were many toys yet to be inspected. Oh, how his feet did ache.
Then sit
Well,
down.
stop
Pilot
screwing
counted
up.
the drums,
That too.
dolls, and skates. He'd never seen so many toys.
Except all have a
There
bloody
were
face. What
twice
the
as
hell is
many
that?
as last
Oh,
year,
no.
meaning twice as many good girls and boys.
Every
Gah.
year more children.
So
I'll only
fun.
have enough toys for the really good boys and girls. Now, let me see. This list gets bigger and bigger every year.
Like
My
me.
little elves
Oh
are
my
working
goodness.
very hard to make toys for everyone. But each year
No,
it gets
they're not.
harder to
Calvin's
fill all the
screwing up.
honors.
Yeah,
Oh
Kevin's
my
holding like a 50%
goodness,
decrease.
look at the time.
Noticing the hourglass, Santa jumped to his feet. Valuable time was slipping away. Not
The
another
hell is
moment
this
could be
image?
wasted, or he'd be seen by the light of day. The grains of sand trickled downward as Santa rushed to find his suit. He looked funny, hurrying toward the closet, where
Perfect.
Santa wore only one boot.
Santa. Santa. You know what? I can't criticize Calvin anymore if Santa's leadership is this incompetent.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It starts from the top.
It does, it does. Ugh.
Can we also just say these dolls are hideous?
They are awful. They're horrifying. And I want them all to die.
I mean, they make the Rankin Bass models look great.
True. That is very true. I hate these, man. Ugh.
Little Calvin quietly sat in a corner, repairing a large teddy bear. He was sewing one of its blue stuffed
Yeah.
ropes, one he hadn't meant to tear. Hylic
Damn
closely
it,
inspected
Calvin!
Calvin's work.
Calvin, I swear to God.
Suddenly, all the mistakes he spied. Calvin looked up to see Hylic's face turn red and
and Heinrich took out his whip and started beating Calvin into submission.
Honestly, just get rid of Calvin.
Seriously.
No, he's pissing me
He
off how
could
inefficient he
hide.
is.
That is just a Raggedy Ann doll.
What's with you, Nudnik? My shop makes beautiful toys. Everyone but you, that is.
Russian.
I've told you all year. You have to pay attention. Say something.
Fire
I'm
him.
sorry. I really have been trying. I didn't do it on purpose.
Well, I'm sorry.
Purpose.
Then you're an
Purpose,
incompetent.
he
not-
says.
Yes, they were accidents.
There've been too many accidents.
Gah!
Every few minutes it's something else.
I agree.
Ridiculous dolls, torn teddy bears, unusable wagons, and look at that bow and arrow. Useless! Calvin, you just don't pay attention. Now I have no other alternative but to fire you.
True.
You can help
Yay!
tonight, but this is your
It's a
last
Christmas
day.
miracle!
Do you understand, Calvin? You're fired!
Thank God. Maybe we can get the toys on time this year.
If I had pre-watched this movie, that face would have been on the thumbnail I would have made.
No.
That sad Calvin face would have been on the thumbnail. Just saying.
Oh, maybe. Actually, that actually looks fantastic. Yes.
Large tears slipped down Calvin's cheeks
Well, then get
as
better,
he thought
Calvin.
of being sent away. He knew
Beautiful.
That's amazing. Just a strip of paper that says you're fired.
That just looks great.
he'd miss his North Pole friends and have a miserable Christmas day.
Wait, why can't he stay in the North Pole? Don't they live there?
Yeah,
Calvin loved living at Santa's
Oh.
North Pole. It had been his only
Oh, it's company
home.
housing.
I
He
guess,
looked at
yeah.
his friends for the very last time and sadly felt
I can almost
alone.
guarantee that they all were cheering when you
Oh,
left.
thank God Calvin's gone.
Our efficiency is going to go through the roof.
Oh my God. It's about time. It's about damn time.
He purposely paused to tell them goodbye, but they pretended not to see.
Yeah.
Calvin knew he'd failed to be one of them. They
Yes!
were as ashamed as he.
This movie's amazing.
So far, way better than Wizzo.
Way better. I'm siding on the bad guys here.
No, I cannot stand an inefficient coworker.
Who just causes more and more work for people. Yeah.
Yeah, I have way too much on my plate already. I don't need your incompetence to make more work for it.
Exactly.
Calvin then wondered what Santa would say.
Are you
when
gonna
reading
leave,
the
Calvin?
Curiously, he wondered where Santa would send him as he laced his tiny tan coat.
And Santa took out his shot. Santa took out his shot.
Calvin.
God damn it,
What
Josh!
I was just gonna make the joke. Santa took out his shotgun, told Calvin he has 5 minutes, and then he's coming after him.
Oh, I was just gonna say, we can just end the movie now. I'm perfectly happy with this ending. This is great.
It's the incompetent one was fired. It's a Christmas miracle.
I'm perfectly happy with this ending. Calvin, who made everything worse, is now God. Yeah.
I haven't been this satisfied in the first 10 minutes of a movie since Up. Oh my God, it's amazing.
This is great, man. I'm actually very happy with this.
This is
And everyone
way
else
better
is
than-
happy too. Literally everyone was happy because you
except for
liked Calvin.
Calvin. Yeah, everyone's happy except for Calvin, and I'm okay with that.
The amount of bullshit they had to go through for you, Calvin. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh, am I gonna have to take away your clicking privileges?
am I going to do with you? I told you you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
You're a good elf, but you're careless. I'm too busy right now to discuss it.
No, Shay, really?
What? Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny? Why do I know that?
Because we watched it last year.
Oh God, did I block that out?
That was the one where Santa was stuck in the snow, and then it went on a Thumbelina thing.
Oh no!
She was the narrator for that?
Dorothy, get a better agent. Damn. Oh my God. All right. Okay. All right.
That Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny is something special.
It's like it is like 4 movies put together. It is the weirdest thing. Okay.
Oh,
no, it's 2 movies put together and an advertisement.
Didn't we have like a whole like lore thing where it was Culture Casino's like money laundering scheme?
I actually don't know. I've blocked it out of my brain.
I think we had like that running jokes at the whole thing.
I blocked it out, man. I have no idea. Oh, okay. All right.
You go out there and help, if they
Unironically, I
want
want to
you.
leave.
and we'll talk about it when I come back.
He's holding the I'm
The barn
fired
was
sign.
warm and quiet within as Calvin gently caressed the deer.
Oh.
With tears in his eyes, he hugged each one of them
Do they
and
even know you
tightly
like
held
that?
each one near. Curiously, they wondered, why is Calvin sad?
Because he is an incompetent buffoon.
Who makes everything worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Before, his visits were fun. They loved all of the elves dearly, but Calvin was their favorite one.
Why?
It's a stupid dream, thought Calvin, to think of asking to be rehired.
Yeah.
Facts were facts with no turning back, and the fact remained. Calvin was fired.
Yep.
You
The deer
fired.
watched Calvin dry his tears as he sat on a bale of hay.
Did-
They moved closer.
Was he
to
sitting on a
try
bale of
and
hay?
comfort
He
him,
seemed to be motionless.
wishing there was
Don't
something
know.
they could say.
Yep. The end.
Okay.
Are all the
Can you
toys
leave us?
finished now, Heilig?
Yes, sir. Every last one of them. Even the ones Calvin ruined.
He would be a good boy if he would just learn to pay attention. Perhaps I can have a talk with him when I get back and give him another chance.
We can't.
No!
So, no. He's incompetent. He needs to prove himself elsewhere. You have fired him. Let him go to the Keebler factory, okay? He does not belong in Santa's workshop.
Nope. No, he does not. We have a good thing right now, okay? We don't need to make it worse by putting Calvin in, okay?
Also,
what?
If you're going to, this is more to the direction. Okay.
Oh, there's direction?
It's not animated. I get it. But if you're having two characters have a conversation and you just have still images of the dolls, at least like when Santa's talking, you have Santa on screen, and then when Heinrich's talking, Heinrich's on screen.
No.
You know, and you flip back and forth between them. I mean, it's just still images. You can do that.
Yes, and they should be quote unquote facing each other.
Yeah, 180 rule. Where's Santa? Why is Santa looking off to the side? Is he looking at Calvin?
Well, I mean, quite frankly, that's the only way he looks. Which means the other guy should have been like to the left of him.
Yeah.
Or right of him, whichever one.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Talk about it now, Santa. You're late.
So I am.
Because of
Santa
Calvin.
quickly checked the last name on his list. Seeing the nearly empty hourglass, he sighed.
Damn it, Calvin!
Reindeer, where had the time gone? Hurry, hurry, to Heilig, he cried. So
Santa-
little time and so much to do, thought Santa as he jumped to his feet. He must go to the closet to get his red coat. He had a special schedule to meet. Heilig tried
I
to
thought
help
we
Santa
already
prepare
were
his
running
clothes.
late,
There
Santa!
wasn't a single moment to spare. Hurriedly, he shook Santa's fur-trimmed costume as the smell of mothballs filled the air.
You didn't
The
wash
elves
it
began
before the
packing
big
Santa's
day?
Really? You didn't get it dry
Getting him ready
clean?
to load on the sleigh.
Santa!
Okay, so we now know that apparently Calvin is Santa's son, and it's genetic. That's why he wants to keep him around. Nepotism. I figured it out.
It's the only explanation.
They thought of the children's surprise and delight when awakening on Christmas Day. The elves packed gifts large and small. What a wonderful holiday it would be. The
Not if you
children
don't
would be
leave.
glad that they had been good when finding their gifts under the tree. The bags grew larger with each new toy. They began bulging from side to side.
I
Finally,
don't need
the
to hear about
last
Santa's
toy was
bulge.
packed snugly
Yeah, I don't want
within,
to hear about that.
and the
Yeah,
ropes
thank
on
you,
the
though.
bags were tied. The elves quickly inspected the now empty room.
Why are we
They
see
examined
through,
the bags
James?
once more. They knew that
Don't
Santa
know.
was impatiently waiting as the bags were
I love
lifted
changing
from
the
floor.
image yet keeping the background perfectly the same.
I hope everything's
That's this whole
ready.
movie.
My, I really must get on my way.
Yeah?
We know!
Move
It
your
was
ass,
difficult
Santa.
placing the bags on the sleigh. The elves feared they were much too wide. They contained so many large toys, they wondered where Santa would ride. They
Magic,
pushed and
right?
pulled with all their might, trying to make the bags fit in place. They never noticed
Oh.
Calvin behind the sleigh
Are you kidding
watching
me?
or saw his sad little face.
I don't care about Calvin.
What?
Together they gave one last big push. To their surprise, the bags finally fit. The
And they
sleigh was
crushed
filled
Calvin.
from front to back,
Yes.
still leaving room for Santa to sit. The elves had completed their work for the year. Exhausted,
No thanks to
went away.
Calvin.
as little
Yep.
Calvin stood alone beside the deer,
Yep, bye.
looking at Santa's toy-filled sleigh. The elves straightened the workbenches, putting their tools away. They looked forward to a long night's sleep and turkey on Christmas Day.
Hell yeah.
And
That's
superiority.
good. Very good.
Before I go, I must thank all the elves. They worked very hard
Aren't
this
you
year
on a
and
time
deserve
crunch,
a good
Santa?
dinner and some
Santa,
rest.
move it.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for your hard work.
What is that thing?
Christmas, Santa.
If you need anything when you get back, just call me.
Yeah,
I don't
more.
think that will be necessary. Now I must hurry.
The toy shop looked neat with everything in place. Each elf sat down with a sigh. Meanwhile, Calvin stood watching the deer, wondering how Santa made them fly. Calvin stood by the
Calvin.
deer as snowflakes
You-
fell, wishing he could deliver the toys. He thought of the fun Santa must have when visiting the girls and boys. He decided to play a game of make-believe. It surely would be lots of fun. He looked around, then climbed into the sleigh.
Calvin.
Something
No.
What do you say? No.
Just no. Please tell me he's not going to accidentally take off and he'll have to deliver all the toys. Is that what's about to happen?
Oh god, I didn't even consider that. I just thought Calvin was going to be sitting and he was going to be in the back seat and he's going to save Santa or something.
I would have taken that over the idea of him possibly having to be Santa for the night.
Oh god.
All right.
I hate all of that. All right, we should have just left while we had the chance.
Yeah. If it had just been like, Calvin was fired, and then like credits roll, like this was the best Christmas special ever.
Oh yeah.
he'd run. Calvin took the deer rein in his small hands
Oh
as the
no.
cold north winds blew. He paused for a moment in his game of pretend, wondering, what now would Santa do? Trying to
Really?
look like Santa, Calvin threw out his chest, then tugged at his make-believe beard.
Oh god, I think
He
you're right.
whistled loudly as he stood in the sleigh. There was nothing Calvin feared.
Ooh!
Stop! Stop! I didn't want you to go!
God damn it, Josh.
Go back! I don't know how to drive this sleigh!
I hate him. I hate him.
I take it back. If I had pre-watched it, that's the face that would have been on the thumbnail.
I don't know. The fired thing was pretty funny.
It was.
Oh, dear me!
I hate him.
Yeah, back to that face. Why not?
I
Oh,
genuinely
cool.
hate him.
Frightened
We
Calvin
just
clutched
flipped the
tightly
image.
reins, wondering
Right.
how he could turn the deer around. Oh, how he wished he'd never pretended to be Santa and was safe.
I wish
back
he was
on the
never Santa
ground.
too.
He shouted loudly
Yep.
as the sleigh zigged and zagged, but the deer heard not a word. The north wind made his voice sound like a whisper. Poor Calvin couldn't be heard.
What is
Please
this?
go back! Oh, dear me!
The elves had discovered the missing sleigh.
No,
Then coming to tell
that's a good
Santa
reaction.
goodbye. They searched all around the snow-covered ground, wondering how
Why are you
and
smiling?
why.
I don't
The
know.
deer or
Why are
the
you
sleigh
smiling,
weren't
mustache
anywhere to
elf?
be seen. Even the tracks were covered with snow. The elves searched and searched the entire place, looking high and low. They searched every inch of the large red barn, thinking the deer had wandered in from the cold. Discovering the barn empty, they knew something was wrong, and Santa must be told.
I can't believe it, Santa. Your sleigh has disappeared.
The hell?
Disappeared!
I hope he
Look at
dies.
the time! We must find it!
Oh, dear me!
And this is why you need to invest in like a parking brake, Santa.
No, this is why we're gonna kill Calvin.
Well, I'm pro that too. I am pro that. Yeah.
Heilig is going to punish me now! Stop! Stop! Please go back!
Why is his face superimposed over stars?
I don't know.
Is it because he's supposed to be flying in the night sky? But then why
Yes.
why just his face?
It cost them $2 to make this.
I mean, they clearly had bodies for the dolls. Why is this one just a head?
Because it's dark.
Oh, okay.
I'm not kidding. That's all I got.
They don't seem to hear me!
I wish I couldn't hear you.
Oh, those poor children with no toys. I wonder who could have taken the
I
sleigh.
fucking
Maybe it was
wonder,
a big
guys.
monster.
Oh, don't be silly. There aren't any big monsters.
Could it possibly be the giant screw up we all have?
Yeah.
Where is the screw up Calvin? Just saying.
Yeah.
The deer wandered off somewhere.
But we've looked everywhere except up in the sky.
They wouldn't fly away without someone at the reins. I can't believe that for the first time in the history of Santa Claus, the children of the world are going to be disappointed. Oh,
And that's when you run the credits sequence.
Yeah.
The children of the world will be disappointed. End credits.
oh, what a sad Christmas day.
And after all our hard work, if the elves don't find the sleigh soon, it will be too late.
Christmas Eve at the North Pole became the most unhappy night of the year. The elves sadly thought of the children waiting for Santa. Even Heilig shed a tear. The
Yeah,
elves
clearly.
all decided to return to the barn. There must be a clue somewhere near. Who'd ever heard of a missing sleigh, toy bags, and all those reindeer?
After all those hours and hours and hours of making toys,
Heilig, if the sled is missing, I know I'm going to be late.
Classic comics. You had one job, Santa.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm baffled.
Yeah. Why hasn't anyone thought, where's our massive screw up? Moment the sled's gone, I'm thinking, where's Calvin?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about it? Can't you think of something? Think, man. What are we going to do?
Why does Santa sound like a New York Jew?
Oh God.
What are we gonna do about it? I don't know. Just an observation. Why'd they give Santa like a Jewish voice?
I didn't even dawn on me. Did not even dawn on me.
Now let me see. I should just think a little bit. Over there is Polaris, the North Star. Under the North Star is the North Pole. And next to the North Pole is Santa's house. So if I follow the North Star, I'll find Santa's house.
Following the North Star, Calvin breathed a sigh. The right direction he'd found. The deer began gliding slowly downward as Calvin saw the snow-covered ground. In the faint distance, Calvin then saw the barn. Smoke from Santa's chimney drew near. Closer they came to the bright lights in the toy shop. There'd never been a sight so dear. Soon the sleigh runners touched the ground, sliding through the cold, deep snow. The deer stopped quickly in front of Santa's house as Calvin wondered, did anyone know? Calvin
To quote
I'm baffled. Gosh, I'm actually truly baffled right now.
To quote the Family Guy meme, what was the point of all that?
I'm just saying, we should have killed Calvin while we had the chance.
Calvin gets in the sleigh, plays at being Santa, reindeer take off, he gets scared, he turns around and lands. Oh! Okay.
We should have just killed him.
On the bright side, 20 minutes have gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah, because I'm just sitting here wanting Calvin to die. Really kind of where I am.
noticed the loose rope on the toy bag as he looked for a place to hide. Quickly, he pulled the top wide open and nimbly squeezed inside.
Why?
Because it's Calvin.
Well, you're home and no one caught you.
Hurry, Santa.
Thank
The sleigh's in front of the house.
It just appeared by magic.
Y'all are all
Maybe
dumb.
the reindeer ran away by themselves. They wouldn't do a thing like that. They've never done that before. We'll solve the mystery when I get back. I
And be
haven't
sure
a
to
moment
pistol
lose.
whip Calvin.
Now I must see all the good
What
children.
is this picture?
Santa was concerned about leaving so late as he climbed into the bright, shiny sleigh. He knew he must travel faster than ever before due to the unexplained delay.
Merry
We still haven't figured
Christmas,
out it's
everyone!
Calvin?
Higher and higher, Santa guided the deer, darting through the darkness of night. Unknown to Santa, Calvin secretly hid in the toy bag, going on another unexpected
I'd say
flight.
you showed us, but not really.
Merry Christmas, everybody!
How is there still
The elves were happy the sleigh had
50
returned,
minutes left?
and Santa could deliver the toy. It would be a Merry Christmas after all, but thousands of girls and boys.
Thousands?
Let's go to bed. Merry Christmas, men, and thanks for a good year.
I'm sorry. Thousands of girls and boys? Just thousands.
Yeah, just thousands. They're not wrong. It is thousands.
I mean, it is. But seems a touch low. Actually, I know what it is. Because Santa's running late, he's just hitting the VIPs first, and the rest will be, he'll just mail them.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
It is going to be a glorious season.
Time was drawing near for Santa.
By the way, Reindeer, why'd you leave?
As the sleigh drifted toward the ground, Calvin slipped deeper within the bag, fearful of being found.
I mean, honestly, it looks like he's in hell.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
We'll just play that audio loop again.
Santa dusted the chimney soot from his clothes, then slipped shiny ice skates under the tree. The gift was for a little Canadian boy who'd been as good can be.
Persia?
Santa entered the second house through a window. It had no fireplace, and someone had locked the door. Upside down, Calvin dared not yell when accidentally the bag was dropped to the floor. The children next on the list lived in a house of ice. It was an igloo, large and warm. Santa gave each child a pair of fur-lined boots, a sled, and a reindeer charm.
Damn, fur-lined boots is pretty nice.
One of Santa's stops was a dainty Swiss home. The tree was decorated with different wedges of cheese.
Oh my,
As
can
he
I just
placed
have
the toy,
cheese?
Santa nibbled a star, and the strange odor made Santa sneeze. Santa then entered an Oriental home.
Oh no!
His journey had been 6
Oh
hours
no,
long.
Santa!
No!
When placing the gifts, he heard a loud noise, which was only a large brass gong.
Oh my god! You know, every Asian family home, no matter what kind of Asian it is, all have gongs in it. Didn't you know that?
Are we just gonna ignore the Kabuki warrior there?
Yes.
Okay. So he went from
Sorry.
Canada to Sweden. Now he's in the Orient. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming all these people are in like their ethnic like places of origin, and this is not just all like in, I don't know, down the street from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be a Swedish person and an Asian person 2 houses down from me. I wouldn't know. I don't talk to my neighbors. Honestly, if he is related to Calvin, he could just be on one street right now.
That is true. So, how much wisdom is there to eat cheese that was on the Christmas tree? I'd be concerned.
I don't know, man. It's cheese.
I know. I like cheese too.
Great.
It is. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if I'd have cheese that was on a pine tree.
I guess that's true. Depends on the type of cheese too, as well.
Yeah.
Like, are there like is it just cheese? Do I get like a full charcuterie board? Like, is there like fancy cheese, like meats and like jams and fruit and shit? Like those expensive toasted pine nuts for some reason that are expensive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the fact that like if you toast an almond, it makes it 4 times as expensive for some reason.
Which is why you should just toast them yourselves.
Yeah, I literally don't understand. Like, why are peanuts so cheap, but toasted almonds are more expensive? Is it the type of almond? I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe my palate is shit. Most almonds, the almonds taste the same to me. So
Yeah.
that's just me. Though. Now I'm hungry. Damn it!
Yeah. How do we have 50 minutes?
Josh, that is what I've been saying. That is what I'm saying. How is there 50 minutes left? Honestly, we can leave at any time, and the fact that Calvin got fired can still linger.
I mean, that is true. That does make this the best Christmas special we have watched.
Josh, I'm scared. I gotta admit, I am scared. Because I'm afraid if we watch to the end, Calvin's gonna get rehired. And then we're gonna go through all this again next year.
Maybe he'll die. There's that hope.
There is that hope that he'll just fall off the sleigh and die.
Yeah.
He is incompetent.
Yes.
He visited and called an orphanage, leaving 22 pairs of skates. He then filled 22 stockings and departed for the United States.
America!
I guess he wasn't down my street. Okay.
After hundreds of visits, Santa reached his last stop.
Just
He was
hundreds.
so exhausted he could hardly see.
Hundreds and thousands.
He
Very
dropped
small
his bag
population.
as he sat down to rest beside a colorful Christmas tree. Upstairs in her bedroom, Kim, a little
Oh
girl,
my God, it's a
slept.
person.
She was dreaming of what Santa would bring.
First of all, I just want to state for the record that white and black Christmas trees are underrated. That's all I wanted to say.
They are. That she is sleeping on like a grandma couch or something because that
It
is
is the 70s. Okay.
because that is a grandma pattern if I have ever seen a grandma pattern.
Well, I don't know because it's the 70s. I actually don't know. Remember, florals were huge.
That's true.
I'm just more worried that Calvin's here.
Snuggling closely to a brown teddy bear, hoping for a big doll and a swing. She dreamed of 3 stockings.
Oh no, is
hanging in a
Calvin
row,
going to become her
stuffed with
doll?
goodies from toe to the knee. Even in dreams, she could hardly wait to discover the gifts under the tree.
I will say, presents are great at Christmas, but Christmas breakfast hits different.
That is
So,
true.
Just want to say that for the record. Do not underestimate Christmas breakfast. Because it's more of a brunch, generally speaking.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
We usually do waffles on Christmas, homemade waffles.
I don't know. It kind of depends with my family. But, yeah. I'm just hungry at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm now thinking about what's in my fridge right now. I could roast a bunch of vegetables and dip them in mashed potatoes. Oh, hell yeah. Roast some vegetables in olive oil, season it. Oh, secret ingredient, smoked paprika. My favorite seasoning I have found this year. And, yeah, dip it in mashed potatoes. Oh, yeah, with like a sandwich, like a good sandwich on the side. Oh, fuck yeah. I am so hungry, Josh. Can Calvin just die and I can go eat food?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. I also want to see, for some reason, I also want to see the end. I don't know what part of that. I need to kill that part of me that wants to do that.
Yeah. I
God, I am
understand.
fucking hungry. All right. Let's do it. We got
Last of
this.
the toys had been orderly placed. Tired Santa could
Oh, God, it's
hardly
Calvin.
stay awake. Accidentally, Calvin had been removed from the bag and given as a gift by mistake. Kim slept.
Santa.
Santa, that's your son.
Santa.
That's your son. Santa. Okay.
I understand being dead tired at work, but To
Yeah.
not know, to mistake your fired employee as an object is a bit harsh.
Yeah. I mean, damn, that is some cold ass shit.
And Calvin, you're just accepting that?
You went willingly?
You didn't go like, oh, hi Santa. You
Hey
didn't-
Dad, how's it going? Funny story.
You're just like, yep, I'm a doll. I'm just a doll. Like, really? I question both of you.
That's what I'm saying. They have to be related.
Yeah.
It's the only
As
explanation.
incompetent as we have seen Calvin be, it starts from the top, Santa.
It does.
Calvin was clearly not trained properly, and that comes from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justice for Calvin.
No. No. I don't
no,
want any justice
no,
for
I
Calvin.
can't. I can't say that.
I can't. Okay, no. As somebody, and I'm assuming Josh is felt the same. As somebody who has had really, really incompetent morons working with him. Okay. Like clients and stuff like that. It's like it is so nice to see somebody get what they deserve in that. And Calvin is kind of replacing all those people throughout my entire life who I've been, those incompetent people, particularly in retail, where their existence in your job has just made your job like 20 times harder. No, I want Calvin to suffer. I don't want him to have justice. So.
Yeah, I get it.
No justice for Calvin. Quite frankly, he doesn't deserve it. All right. Shall we?
Yeah.
Soundly as dawn drew near, the night was slipping away. Little did she know she'd be the only child in the world to receive an elf on Christmas Day.
Oh.
Good?
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, and to all a good night.
That's not the line.
No.
The lights on the tree softly twinkled. Calvin was quiet as a mouse.
Why?
He wished
Why?
he was back at Santa's North Pole. He didn't
You
like
could
being
have
in a
been, you
stranger's house.
idiot!
You could have left.
Sitting on the floor, Calvin began to cry as a
Good.
tree bulb lit up his ear. If only he hadn't hidden the toy bag. He knew he wouldn't be here.
You could have said anything at
Santa
any time.
directed the deer and sleigh
I-
home as he watched
Okay.
the light of morning appear. He was
You just
glad
saved
all
us?
the toys had been delivered at last, and it would be a Merry Christmas this year. The bells on the sleigh jingled loudly as it quickly flew through the sky. Closer they came to the cold North Pole as Santa yawned with a sigh.
I got rid of that loser.
Dad.
Yeah.
Oh, am I? I can't remember a Christmas that came so close to not happening.
Yeah, who was that because? Again? Just out of
Calvin
curiosity.
knew he would soon be discovered. Desperately, he wondered what he should do.
You
Could
should
he hide
leave!
somewhere? Or perhaps run away? He knew his choices were few.
Yeah, because you
looked
waited
at the
4
toys.
hours.
So quiet, so still. Then an idea entered his mind.
I should
Why,
leave.
I move.
He'd be one of them, and an elf doll the children would find.
What?
Dear Santa Claus,
Pretending to be a
I've
toy
been a
was
very good
option
girl all
1?
year. Please bring me a doll and a swing and some coloring books. If you don't think that's too much, thank you and Merry Christmas. Love, Kim.
And
Calvin wondered how an elf
$100,000 in
doll
unmarked
felt.
bills.
He tried to look sort of dumb. He crossed his legs and made his arms limp, pretending to be lifeless and numb.
Good.
Christmas morning had finally arrived as the
She
excited children
looks
examined
thrilled.
the toys. Their parents opened beautifully wrapped gifts. Poor Calvin was alarmed by the noise.
This is the director's family, isn't it?
Oh, look what I...
Also, you're an elf who literally works to make Christmas happen each year. Why is the sound of unwrapping presents alarming to you?
And I say again, this is just the director's family, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Like, okay, Dad's making a movie. All right. Stand here next to this creepy-ass doll there, honey.
Oh, yeah. This definitely won't give you nightmares. It's fine.
Yeah. Shay, that's a good question. Why hasn't anyone made a live-action remake?
Oh, God, don't give anyone ideas.
Well, they'd have to make it dark and gritty.
Oh, does Calvin die in it? Because I'll watch it.
Well, actually, yeah, that would make it better. Yeah, she doesn't like the elf doll, so she just gives it to the dog.
Oh, yeah, it becomes a chew toy? I love
Yeah.
that.
Hell, oh, that'd be amazing.
I support this headcanon. Ugh.
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Something like that.
Got a beautiful little doll.
Don't lie.
Look what Santa Claus brought me.
It's
Santa
hideous.
Claus, he wouldn't bring anything like that. Somebody
Who's
else brought it
talking?
to me for Christmas.
I don't know, but I agree with him. Santa wouldn't bring that ugly thing. Yeah, no, that wasn't Santa. Someone's trolling you. Okay, you're being pranked. All right.
Yeah.
Where did Kim get that, Mother?
I don't really know. I guess Santa Claus did bring it. I think he's sort of cute. Don't you, Kim?
Oh, yes, I love him.
Who are these
Just
two?
what I wanted, a little doll.
I don't know.
Little Kim took Calvin.
What is this picture?
I don't know.
It looks like... Is it Kim's last known photograph? What is this?
Oh, this totally looks like it'd be on a true crime channel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the last picture we have of her. Spooky music
Yeah.
becomes more intense as there's a slow zoom. Yeah.
Yeah. We know how this would work.
Big spookage. Look at it. I want you to look at it.
Into her arms. She felt Sherry and Robert were being unfair. It didn't matter. Her doll wasn't perfect. And she pretended not to care.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say that.
The gifts were scattered about the room as the children played with each new thing. Kim held tightly her new elf doll while
Why?
examining an unassembled swing.
That's a forced smile.
Oh, that's British teeth.
I still think
That's
Kim's
just a
doll is
reverse
funny
picture of the one you showed earlier.
Funny legs and funny ears. He's not funny looking.
He's her.
He's very nice, and I love him.
So I wouldn't hold a live
glad
person
Santa
like
Claus
that. Small
brought him
child
to
is a bit
me.
odd. Stop it.
Santa
Stop.
Claus, you know there really isn't a Santa Claus. I wonder where Mother and Father got that silly doll.
See, that's a good
Sherry
question.
laughed at Calvin's short little legs. Robert made fun of his large ears. Kim's feelings were hurt because they were being unkind, and she ran from the room in tears. Drying her tears, Kim noticed Calvin's hands. Curiously,
And his
his
face
little
not
fingers she
being
began
matted in
to feel.
properly.
Looking at his face,
Oh
she
God,
saw his eyes
this
gleam.
composition.
Why,
I
w-
hate
mean-
all of it.
I mean, I know you've been. I think they've been using a chroma key for the entire thing.
I
And that-
actually have no idea.
And that I mean, that would be because I mean the chroma key's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
So that's probably the easiest way that they've done these pictures with the with superimposing it. But my God, this one's bad.
Yeah. Oh God, it is just it. Was there? Was this he edited it himself, didn't he?
Probably. All right, I'm gonna look this movie up.
You want me to hit continue while you're doing that?
I'm watching in another tab.
he wasn't a doll. He was real. Her large blue eyes widened in surprise. Calvin knew he could no longer pretend. Kim then smiled warmly and tickled his nose. She wanted to be his friend.
I'm gonna be your friend. My name's Kim. What's your name?
My name's Calvin, and I come from the North Pole. I used to work for Santa Claus, and now I'm here with you.
You're in the United States, and now you belong to me. You're
Oh,
my own
yeah,
little
that's how
real
slavery
doll,
works.
and we're gonna
Oh
have
my
lots of
God!
fun.
What too? Was that too far? You're ready to die. You were fine. Oh shit.
No means no, Kim.
Yeah, Kim. What the fuck?
So don't be afraid.
I'm not a...
Oh, what?
The director did not do the editing.
Okay.
Someone named Steve Caffio did.
All right. Well, bad you.
Has this guy done anything else? Known for Santa's Christmas elf named Calvin. He's done a couple of edits. He also edited Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
That explains a lot. All right.
His last credit on IMDb is 1987. Oh, okay. He didn't edit Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny. He edited the Thumbelina segment.
Okay.
Hope that helps.
I mean, kind of. It kind of helps.
Ray?
Calvin tried very hard to return her smile. When he saw Kim wasn't anyone to fear, shyly he tugged at his little coat, then smiled from ear to ear. Kim neatly straightened Calvin's collar, then helped him to his feet. Politely she said, "How do you do?" An elf she was pleased to meet. Calvin then explained,
The hell?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'm looking at the IMDb page for this movie. And you know how it gives you the recommendations for like, more movies like this? At the bottom.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
The Love Pirate.
That's a different type of movie, I think, Josh.
Get together on the ship that can rule the China Sea's vicious trade in flesh. Why is that similar to this movie?
I don't know.
I need an adult.
Yeah.
Wow, there's like almost nothing about this movie. Film trivia. The film is comprised entirely of photographs. That's it. That's helpful.
About as helpful as his editing is in making this movie better.
True.
All right.
She listened closely to every word. It was certainly a strange Christmas story, unlike any she'd ever heard. He told her about Heilig and the elves, about the magic deer and sleigh. Calvin
Company's
described
insider
how he
trading
hid
there,
in the
Calvin.
toy and was delivered on Christmas Day. Kim thought it was an exciting
Calvin.
story, but the ending made her sad. She knew that Calvin missed his home and was sorry that he'd been bad.
Calvin, you know you should have paid more attention to your work. You would have done well if you would have kept your mind on your work.
Being called up by a
right.
7-year-old, Calvin.
Oh shit, you
I
are,
know.
Calvin.
I realize it now that it's too late. If I ever get another chance, I'm going to be the best worker Santa Claus has.
No.
Don't be sad, Calvin. You and
You're
I are
mine
gonna
now.
have fun together.
Yeah, forever.
Kim tried her
and ever.
best to cheer Calvin. She introduced him to her friend, Mr. Bear. Calvin became more
Eat 'em.
interested in eating as the
Eat
aroma
him.
of
Eat
bacon
him.
filled the air. Calvin shyly told Kim he was hungry and asked for something to eat. His stomach growled as she left the room. Anything would be a treat.
Mother, Calvin is hungry. I would like to have something to eat for Calvin.
What?
Calvin? Who's Calvin?
Yeah.
That's my elf that Santa gave me for Christmas.
That's
And
a
you know
terrible
something,
name.
Mother? He's alive.
Really, Kim? Sometimes your imagination goes too far.
But it's true, Mother. He's a live
Is the
elf from
mom
the North
even
Pole,
trying
and
to
Santa
hide
Claus
her
gave him
voice
to...
as
I
also being the narrator?
I don't think so. I don't think she was
'Cause-
paid enough.
It's clearly her.
I mean, obviously, yeah.
And
Oh my good lord.
it's also confusing that like sometimes like because she's also doing Calvin's voice, but then
Oh, you're right. Holy shit, that's funny.
but then you have like clearly men are also voicing Santa and Heinrich and her brothers and Kim is also different. So what's the point of doing a narrator if you're doing this type of story? Wouldn't it have saved money to have one actor voice everyone?
I
Because
mean,
like, if you hire a good reader, they can do that.
yeah, no, I mean, like a good voice actor that can like mimic voices and stuff and accents and whatever.
Mhm.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, if you, especially like for an audiobook, if you have a good reader, they can make all the characters distinct. They can do
Yes.
it. So I'm just confused. Why would you have so lots of actors voicing the characters, but then have your narrator also voicing Calvin and also the kid's mom?
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
I don't. Josh, if we're sure, if you want to apply logic,
I'm sorry.
I don't think logic can be applied here. We've been wishing this elf to die for like the past 20 minutes. All right.
20. We're half hour in.
Oh God, has it been another 10 minutes? Oh good Lord. Fever dream. I feel like I just went into it, like, you know, when you have a fever and like
Yeah.
just like 8 hours will go by.
Yeah, time has no meaning. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Me by mistake. And now he says he's hungry.
All right, dear. If you want to have a little tea party for your elf, whatever his name is, you may have it. Now hurry with the food, as your little Calvin will starve.
Thank you, and thank you for
What a great
Calvin.
picture.
Kim quickly returned to her bedroom, carrying lots of food on a plate. They sat at a little round
Mr.
table.
Bear gets the high chair.
Calvin
Suck it, Calvin.
ate and ate. Kim thought it was fun to have a live doll, one that could walk and talk. She then told Calvin they would play school as she brought out a blackboard and chalk. Kim drew a strange-looking picture. It was a face wearing a frown. She told Calvin it was a picture of him with a smile upside down.
Thanks.
Together, they wrote their ABCs and drew a picture of Santa's sleigh. They became covered with colored chalk as morning slipped away.
Look at you, Calvin. You got chalk all over your face.
Well, wipe it off.
You wipe it off.
Where's Kim?
She's still in her room with that funny-looking doll.
She told me he was alive and they're having a tea party.
That's silly. Why do you let her do that?
It doesn't really matter, and it keeps her occupied. You all did things like that when you were little.
That was a fantastic read.
Oh, you did other things. Now,
I
just
mean,
leave her
this was
alone
all
as
one
long as she'll
take.
be
Let's be
quiet.
honest with ourselves, okay?
Kim then produced puzzles from a drawer. A contest would be lots of fun. Whoever finished first would win the game. Listening, Calvin munched on a bun. Eating
that what he's
now
holding?
a red candied apple, Calvin was certain he'd win. But Kim finished first as Calvin searched for a puzzle piece stuck to his chin.
I think I had a candy apple once.
The elves had discovered
I'm not a
Calvin
huge
was
fan because they're
missing.
extremely
They
sticky.
wondered where he could possibly be. They searched
rather just have an
every corner of the
apple,
toy
you know,
shop.
thing,
I
you know?
agree.
Even looked under the tree.
Or
looked
apple
under the
slices with
wide
some
workbenches.
caramel dip.
Peeked.
Yeah, like something like that. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just candied apple just seems like a mess. And they give you like a whole ass apple, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
How do you even? I mean, once you get started, I feel like it's easier, but like getting started is like intimidating. So
Yeah.
In nearly empty buckets of glue. Heilig searched in a closet and found a mouse and began chasing it with his shoe.
We've looked all over for Calvin, and he's nowhere to be found. He's
Hooray!
So he
Oh,
could have
thank
done
God he's
almost
gone.
anything.
Now, he's not really that bad of a boy. He must be around someplace. You must keep looking. I want to have a talk with him.
If it's about rehiring him, I'm against it.
The elves had searched
Based.
the entire shop, and Calvin wasn't anywhere within. Heilig motioned for the elves to follow. They would search the barn again.
Uh-huh.
The 7 elves inspected the barn, searching it through and through. They looked in the feed bin and in the loft as the forceful north wind blew. The elves were searching Santa's house when they entered the laundry room. Heilig decided to look in the clothes bag. Carrying it, he tripped on a broom. The dirty clothes were
Why
scattered
the hell
about,
are you searching Santa's
cluttering the
house?
laundry room
I
floor.
don't know.
Bending to pick them up, Heilig mumbled as he bumped his head on the door. Heilig noticed the clothes covered with soot. Seeing the toy bag, he wanted to shout. Why couldn't Santa ever remember? The dirty bag should be turned inside out.
Damn it, Santa!
A piece of paper fell from the bag. Heilig thought he had seen it before. Quickly, he summoned all the
Damn.
elves, removing the note from
I
the
love that
floor.
you're fired thing. That's so
The
funny. though.
elves grew
That is
near. They saw
unironically
the note.
amazing.
It was last seen in Calvin's hand. Heilig felt sure he knew what had happened.
The fact that that's how they find out where he was, that's kind of good. That's pretty amazing. I kind of love that. They find his pink slip.
I mean, Calvin's done everything wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Like every single thing that you could possibly do wrong.
The
You
thing
know,
I do not understand is why are they looking for him? That's the part I can't figure out.
I don't know. And I don't think they know yet either.
Explaining, he took command. The elves listened closely as Heilig spoke. Looking at the bag, they imagined Calvin inside. Why, Calvin must have been delivered. He'd certainly chosen the wrong place to hide.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they questioned why Santa was too stupid to understand, hey, this doll that looks just like my incompetent employee, whatever. Why isn't that a question?
I don't know. There's a lot of questions that haven't been answered. Like, why is this not over yet? Would be my first one, right? Also, what exactly are the parents going to do when they find out that the doll is actually like a live being that's been sleeping with their 7-year-old daughter?
Yeah, I don't want to think of that part. Because I'd have issues. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entered Santa's room, giving him the note. He could hardly believe his sight. Carefully, he wondered what he could do.
Why are you firing
He
me?
knew Heilig's theory was right.
Poor little Calvin. He must be miserable. We'll have to make a plan to get him back.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I was too harsh with him.
No!
No.
Calvin and Kim began to talk, wondering if Calvin had been missed. If so, could Santa possibly remember the last names on his Christmas list?
I don't know. I don't know about this, Santa.
Yeah, I know, right?
But he tried not to let it show. Oh, how he wished he was home again, eating ice cream made of snow.
Kim
Ew.
tried very hard to cheer
I mean,
Calvin.
I'd rather have ice
There was
cream.
little
I'd
she
rather
could
just have,
do.
like,
She told
shaved
him to
ice
make
or
a
ice cream. I
Christmas
do not
wish,
want both.
and
Thank you.
perhaps
Okay.
it would come true. Kim told him she truly believed in wishing, but only for a very special cause.
I don't know. She looks kind of skeptical
Crossing
there.
their fingers
Right?
and closing their eyes, they wished for Santa Claus.
Last known photo.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. President? This is Mr. Santa Claus. I have
sorry.
a very special favor to ask of you.
I'm fucking sorry. Come again.
That caught me off guard.
You know what? I had some potential, like, lists of things, right? Of what could happen.
I thought
That was not one of them.
I thought the wish was summoning Santa.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I was
that was the obvious one. I don't know where this came from. Okay, wait. When was this made? When was this made?
71.
All right. So I don't know my presidents very well. Let me do this. Third president in 19.
Would that have been Nixon?
Richard Nixon. So Santa calls up Richard Nixon.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okie dokie.
I was just not expecting that.
That was like I have been just flabbergasted. Oh, damn movie. And literally the only thing I got right now that I'm hanging on to is that Calvin has to be Santa's son because nothing else makes sense.
Yeah.
But calling up the president was not on the list of things that could have happened.
Okay. All right. I'm good now.
All right.
I must get a new visa to visit the United States because one of my elves
I'm
was
sorry?
lost, and I must get him back.
What?
I'm sure
Hold
you
on. Oh, the fuck.
understand,
Okay.
and I
visa?
promise.
A visa.
What? What?
A visa. A visa? Josh?
Santa doesn't want to contribute to the illegal immigration problem we have. He respects our borders.
Oh my gosh.
Except when he comes by every Christmas Eve. Well, I guess he doesn't need a visa when he's working?
I guess.
Or does he have a work visa? But he doesn't have a visitation visa. This movie is asking the hard questions, okay?
Sure. Fucking sure, Josh.
Calling the president to get a visa is also something I did not have on my bingo card.
Almost like none of this is at the moment. So
this is a good movie. It's making me think.
Sure. Fucking sure, man. Yeah.
To wear regular clothes.
Strangely dressed, Santa climbed into the sleigh. The elves liked his foolproof disguise. He wore a raincoat and a tan straw hat.
Oh, look at
as
him blended
sunglasses
in.
covered his eyes.
You know, if he would have just dressed up like a ZZ Top,
That would be amazing.
like a member or a super fan of ZZ Top, all he had to do was put on a ZZ Top shirt, okay. And honestly, he could have with the sunglasses and
or barefoot with overalls with one strap, with only one strap, would have just blended right into like any like hillbilly area.
Or even further, go full Viking.
That too. That too.
So
ZZ Top fan would probably be the easiest though.
yeah, because it's literally just like a band shirt that you could buy from pretty much anywhere. So.
Oh my god, Shay, what is with our Christmas specials where we make culture casino jokes?
Oh my goodness.
He doesn't have the hair.
He doesn't. In fact, I don't even know if he has hair. He just has a giant beard.
Yeah.
So. All right, onward. Onward. We have 30 minutes left. Fucking hell.
Santa peered over the rim of his glasses. He hoped
Is
his
he?
plan would succeed. He shook the reins and whistled loudly. His command the deer did heed.
This is the place where all the kids come to play.
We don't have anything like this in the North Pole.
Kim proudly took Calvin outdoors to play. Her elf she wanted everyone to see. But Calvin knew his secret must be kept, and a doll he must pretend to be. The children first stared at Calvin, then began laughing and making fun.
Oh my god.
They'd never seen a doll so ugly, and were glad they hadn't received one.
Green
His
sleeves?
pointed ears they'd never seen. His legs made him look like a bird. Protectively, Kim held Calvin
I
tightly,
hate that.
pretending she hadn't
Why?
heard a word. One little girl tried to imitate Calvin, appearing to look lifeless and numb. Then a little boy tugged at his ears, making fun of the doll so dumb. Poor little Calvin wanted to yell.
I guess
But
there's
he
not much
dared
to
not
do
make a
in this
sound.
town.
He wished the
I
children
guess.
would go away, but instead they gathered around.
This
The
is not
children
Frosty,
laughed
guys.
and pointed at Calvin. He was the funniest sight they'd seen.
Well,
Kim became angry with her playmate.
Josh, I hate that.
They'd never been so cruel
It's
or
a-
mean.
Quit that. Calvin's
why?
my doll and he's not
Calvin's the
ugly.
size of her.
Look at those funny ears.
True.
Look at those funny feet.
Facts.
Look at those silly clothes.
Absolutely.
They're not silly.
No lies detected.
He's an elf and I love him.
You love
Why?
him?
Can
All right, we need to
anyone
burn it.
love a doll like
Demon.
that? I think he's
Where's Chris
funny.
Hansen?
Yeah, so
I know, just burn it
what?
away, honestly.
Quit talking like that. He's my Christmas present and I love him.
Yeah, oh. Okay. We need to take this show to
Santa
church.
secretly
Obviously,
hid the
that's-
deer and the sleigh. in a
Where
place
the
where they
hell?
couldn't
What the
be
hell is
found.
Why
this?
are we in
He
Squid's
told them he'd
bathrooms?
continue the journey by playing,
That's
as
a
they
shower
listened,
curtain.
not making a sound. Santa finally had reached the large city as a door-to-door search began. He discovered some people to be unfriendly. After all, he was a strange-looking man.
Yeah?
Santa felt he'd walked 100 miles
Hey,
as he
man.
searched the south of town.
How big is this town?
He sat down to rest on a
I can't-
green park bench, relaxing as he looked around.
How does he know what town
The
to
blue-
be in to search for Calvin?
Oh, they said it very briefly. It's totally fine and understandable if you missed it, because I also have zoned out like 4 times during this. They have come to the conclusion that obviously Calvin has to be in the last town that he was in.
Why?
You know, that's a great.
How do they know that?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, for both of us, I happened to zone out right before that happened.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have no idea. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually didn't say anything as to
Okay.
why.
I guess I was too distracted when he called Richard Nixon.
Oh, I'm still like that's still I haven't gotten over that. Okay, I haven't gotten over the fact that Santa called Richard Nixon for permission to go back to the country in order to get one of his L's, and he needed a visa. I'm not going to get into that for a while. Okay? Like, I'm just not. I'm not
Yeah.
getting over that.
Yeah.
Water ripped for him. Towering buildings stood to his right. He watched the trees move with the breeze.
Miami?
It was certainly a beautiful sight.
That's not New York. It's palm trees.
Yeah. Thinking Miami.
Santa rode a bus to the north of town.
What is
Another
this?
search he was.
That's clip art. Far off.
What?
It's a ghost bus.
It's a yeah.
Ghost bus. That just made the story more interesting.
And it's not even a bus. It's a toy bus.
Yeah? They made this with $2. I tried to tell you that. They literally just found their children's shit and made it into a movie, okay?
I still debate if this is a movie because movie is moving pictures. Can you have a movie that's just stills?
A glorified PowerPoint slideshow.
It's yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Ready to try. He wondered if people questioned his raincoat when there wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Why would they care?
If it's Miami, they don't give a crap.
Santa
Nobody's
entered the
giving a
gate
shit,
of a
okay?
large white house. A sleeping dog he didn't see. The dog began barking and gave quite a
That it's
chase.
not sleeping.
And Santa ran for the nearest tree. Santa saw children playing hide and seek. They were having lots
A
of
young
fun.
Sarah Boone.
Santa peered from behind a large palm tree and was surprised by a water-filled gun. Wondering where Calvin could possibly be,
God, I just don't
Santa
care.
shook his head with a sigh.
I just don't care, Josh.
And so he gave up, and Calvin was never found.
waiting.
Yeah.
He'd find him, or at least he'd try.
Well, you are trying.
Calvin's hungry again, Mother.
That doll of yours certainly eats a lot for a little toy elf.
He's not a toy, Mother. He's real. He's a real elf and he's hungry.
Turkey, dressing, and applesauce cake was given to Kim
For
on a
fucking
tray.
Christmas?
Her mother
What?
knew Calvin wasn't at all
Applesauce
real.
cake?
It was only a game Kim pretended
Kid,
to
you're
play.
gonna fucking spill all that shit.
The food was placed on the little table.
Don't hold it like
Kim
that.
arranged
Yeah,
seats for three.
It's hilariously
Calvin, Kim, and a little brown bear were quite a trio to see. Calvin ate so much his tummy bulged. Kim feared he would soon turn blue. But Calvin ate the last crumb on the plate. He was full, but miserable too.
Okay, first of all, if you eat so much you start turning blue, you need help.
That's the problem.
You need to go to some kind of fucking, like, specialist.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Or
Secondly,
or you're turning into a blueberry like Violet Beauregard.
Baby. But there's a more important question that I have to raise. Did the mom just sit there and watch the toy doll eat all this food?
I'm assuming she thinks that her daughter's just playing. But when it's just like meal after meal after meal, aren't you like
We're just feeding a dwarf at this point who's dressed up as an elf. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically the conclusion you have to come to. Right? Like,
I don't know if she's actually seeing the doll move.
yeah, but where's the food
In
going?
fairness, we're not seeing the doll move.
That is true. All right, that's fair enough. But like, so okay, yeah, but let's use like context clues. All right, you make some food, you think your kid is just kind of feeding it, but then like the whole ass plate's gone, and there is no sign of the food, right?
Yeah.
And the dog's not there to like secretly be eating it, right? So
I guess I guess she thinks that Kim's eating all the food, like a little girl tea party. But
I mean, yeah, but they keep like emphasizing the excessive nature of the food eating.
Yes, like a whole plate of something you can eat for lunch.
Yeah.
And you're not questioning where that food's going? because it's way too much food for a kid her size.
She's 7.
Yeah.
Like her stomach's small enough that she's probably eating a small plate of food, right?
Yeah.
She hasn't graduated to the adult size plate yet, obviously. But that was a huge ass plate. That plate was bigger than her head. All right.
And she probably doesn't. She probably still needs someone to help, like, cut her food too.
Depending, but it's turkey, so yeah, I guess. Because you wouldn't want to instill in your child to just eat with their hands. At 7, you're getting to the point you can use like a plastic knife and fork, or the plastic knife and fork is being used, whether it's by the parent to cut it up for them, or like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or you're teaching. You're starting to you are teaching table manners, or they have already begun teaching.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, if I had a kid, I don't really. Last time I was around a 7-year-old, I was 7. So, like, I really don't have any interaction with. I haven't had any interaction with kids in a long time. So I don't really know like the progression. But I would imagine you're teaching table manners at 7, right?
Usually, like 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's kind of when you're teaching them. Like, that's when you're teaching them, like, the basics. Like, this is, you hold the food, you hold it down with the fork, and then you use the knife, and that whole thing.
You don't give them a sharp knife. You give them a plastic one. That way, when they inevitably fuck it up, like they don't cut themselves in the process.
Right.
So. All right.
You
God,
shouldn't
help
eat
me.
so much, Calvin.
When morning came, Santa felt much better.
Secret agent, man.
His search continued as a playground he spied, and children came into sight. Santa moved closer, hearing the noise. He wondered what the commotion was
Stranger
about.
danger.
The children were huddled by the swings. Big
Traumatized.
ears, he heard one boy shout. Calling each other names wasn't at all nice, thought Santa.
I'm getting tired of green sleeves.
Next year, they...
Josh, I've been tired. Okay. I've been tired.
Getting really tired of that damn song. And I like green sleeves, but come on.
I've checked. My brain is so fucking done.
They'd be sorry to discover no Christmas toys.
He doesn't have big ears. That's the way elves all look.
You
Children
literally
joined
wouldn't know
hands,
that.
forming a circle, securing Calvin and Kim inside. They made fun of Kim's little elf doll. As his ears she tried
These
to
kids
hide.
do not have a life.
Calvin became
Yeah, go
frightened by
do
the children's
something.
noise.
If it was just Christmas, go play with your own toys. Really, y'all have nothing better to do than to bully this girl? Now, to be fair, deserves to be bullied, okay? But, like, go do something else, honestly.
Right.
And they also look like they're, like, 12. The kids bullying her look like they're 12 years old. Really? You don't have anything better to do?
Yeah.
Just saying.
He didn't understand their teasing for fun. Tears filled Kim's eyes. And she started to cry.
Oh, boo-hoo.
And home she wanted to run.
Oh, God, disembodied head.
Sherry and Robert felt sorry for Kim.
Who?
They distracted their friends with a game. While everyone played, Kim held her doll.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, wait, no, way too far.
Josh, I'm almost at the point of, you know what? I'm almost at the point of putting in a no pausing, because this is so like the stupid clown guy from last week. That was bad. That was bad. This. That one, it was bad, but like you could tell it was live / not live. You know what I mean? Like it was supposed to be live, and there was shit happening, and it was just baffling. This is trying to tell a story, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah.
because we're trying to save something that has, in my opinion, irredeemably needs to go away. Calvin. So.
Yes. But maybe Calvin will die, and that'll make the whole thing worth it.
It would be worth it if he died. Oh, and also I'm hungry.
Okay.
Santa moved closer, hearing the noise. He wondered what the commotion was about.
By the way, not your fault, but this movie will not fucking end. This movie could have ended 8 times now.
Yeah.
It is stretching itself.
This is a classic example of we taking a story that really should only be 20 minutes, and we need to make it an hour and a half, or we need to make it like an hour and 10 so that we get to distribution length.
Oh, 20 minutes would have been, this movie should have been 20 minutes, not an hour and 10.
Yeah. It also maybe should have been, I don't know, animated.
Yes.
Instead of like a glorified picture book.
I agree with that.
The children were huddled by the swings. Big ears, he heard one boy shout. Calling each other names wasn't at all nice, thought Santa.
Well, maybe he needs to stop being so ugly.
Next year, they'd be sorry to discover no Christmas toys.
Wow. Damn.
So they did one kind of dickish move, and they're on the naughty list.
Wow.
Also, wait a minute. Hold on. This is also presumably they were looking for Calvin, and this is only like a day or two after Christmas. So this is that 1 week where you can be as naughty as you want, and it won't count against you because it's not the year yet.
True.
Just saying.
True.
Yeah.
And have big ears. That's the way elves all look.
The children joined hands.
Was that English?
Securing Calvin and Kim inside. They made fun of Kim's little elf doll as his ears she tried to hide. Calvin became frightened by the children's noise.
Maybe if they cause this much problems, why take him out?
I don't know.
If your friends are this much of an asshole, why take him outside then? They constantly berate you because of your doll.
Yeah.
Just don't take the doll outside then.
Correct.
They're teasing. Tears filled Kim's eyes as she started to cry. And home she wanted to run.
That face should have been on the thumbnail.
Sherry and Robert felt sorry for Kim.
All right, that's what I wanted. They felt sorry. Look, that's why they're smiling.
Yeah.
They feel sorry.
Definitely. All right, let's go.
They distracted their friends with a game. While everyone played, Kim held her doll tightly.
I'm gonna mess you
and
up.
Sand wrote Calvin's name. Calvin noticed the stranger drawing near. He could hardly believe his eyes. Jumping reindeer! It was Santa, wearing a strange disguise. Santa was certain at last he'd found Calvin as he hurried toward the children at play.
He just takes the doll and runs.
Tightly her doll, and wondered what he could possibly say.
Kim, I think I see a friend of mine. See that man over there by the fence?
I forgot how irritating your voice is.
I know.
How could you know anyone down here? You just got here and it doesn't look like anyone I know. An old man with a white beard?
He looks very familiar. Maybe we should go over and say hello.
Santa, if you wanted to complete the disguise, you should have had a metal detector.
Right?
No, we're gonna stay here.
Hello, Kim. Is that your Christmas present?
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. His name is Calvin.
Isn't that nice? Say what?
We've been getting a lot of complaints about Calvin. I'm going to need to impound him.
Yeah.
What's that old man loitering around for? I'm going to have to talk to him.
Oh, no. Poor Santa Claus.
Slowly, Santa turned and walked away. There was nothing he could say or do.
What the fuck?
Even if he told the policeman who he was, he'd never believe it was true. Leaving the park, Santa felt very sad, thinking
So he
may
just stalks
never
the girl and
find
follows her
Calvin
home.
again. Santa
I
never
guess.
noticed two boys on a bike racing through the playground sand. The boys were older and chose to play rough. They stole Sherry and Robert's ball. They bullied the children
Not
as
their
they
bowling
climbed on
ball.
the swing.
No.
Calvin wished that one would fall.
Kim, I don't like those naughty boys. Let's go home.
One of the boys saw the doll Kim was holding. He wanted his friends, the dummy, to see. They gathered around and began to laugh. Calvin thought, the dummy's not me.
He doesn't have big ears. That's the way all elves look. I don't like those big boys. They always come over here and
Shouldn't you
tease the
be
little
interested in
kids.
trying to find like a Playboy
Leave me
there,
alone.
kid? What
We're
the
playing,
hell?
and we
Why?
don't let any big boys around.
No.
Robert saw the boys were frightening Kim. He told them to go away. The tallest boy shoved him to the ground. Robert had nothing else to say. The boys then went into a huddle. Sherry took Kim by the hand. She told Robert it was time to go home as the boys whispered a plan. Before anyone knew what had happened, the boys grabbed Calvin and ran. They jumped on their bikes
They
and
really have
raced
no
away
lives, do they?
as Kim
No.
fell helpless in the sand.
Same picture reversed. Thank you.
Yep.
Bring back my doll. That's my doll. Calvin, don't let them take you away.
The boys took Calvin to a large field.
Wow.
They laughed about what they had done. Calvin listened closely as they talked, wondering, how could stealing be fun? The boys momentarily forgot about Calvin. Soon, he discovered why. They were looking at a model plane, talking about how fast it could fly. Calvin had never seen a model so big. He thought, flying it sure must be fun. He wished that Santa's bag had been
Is he
larger,
gonna get on it?
so he could have delivered
Probably.
every boy one. One of the boys spoke of the plane. It was the best toy he'd ever had. Calvin knew he wouldn't have received it at all if Santa had known he was bad.
Santa is
No, they're not going to do that to me.
Santa is slacking.
Yeah. What the hell, man?
They can't put me on that airplane. I'm too big. Besides, I don't know how to fly.
No.
Calvin was tied on top of the plane. Jumping reindeer. He couldn't fly. One of the boys spoke of remote control,
That's not how this works.
explaining how it worked and why.
All we have to do now is start the engine. We're going to make this dummy the pilot. I bet he'll be the best pilot there ever was.
He's a little
Wow.
big to be the pilot of this plane.
Don't worry, it'll carry him. I think he's going to look cool flying along.
Okay, hurry up. Let's get it started.
I'm so excited to be here.
Let's hurry up. I'm not here.
Those kids don't give a shit.
They do not.
Like, all right. Okay. Dad's doing his project. All right.
Yep. God, man.
There was absolutely no passion behind that line. That was amazing. That was that was one of the best line reads I've ever heard.
Started the engine after checking the fuel. Calvin was to ride his first real plane. They laughed at the dummy looking so stupid. It seemed they'd given Calvin a name. The propeller of the plane rapidly turned. As the ground disappeared from sight,
Love that special
upward it
effect.
flew as Calvin braced himself for his very first airplane flight. The plane tilted. Right.
Is the sound effect just
then
someone
right.
going?
Circling high above
No,
the ground.
100% yes.
Suddenly it began turning over. Calvin was flying upside down.
And then he fell to his death.
He died. Horrible death.
Look at everything upside down.
Remember the Jurassic World movie where we had that one lady who got like horrifically killed by all the dinosaurs for almost no reason?
Yeah,
I want that to happen to Calvin.
that would be great.
This makes me feel sick.
Slowly the plane turned right side up. Calvin could see the boys below. Feeling dizzy, he wished it would land, but straight upward the plane did go. The boys took turns taking control as each maneuvered the craft. They thrilled with delight to see the grand flight, while at the dummy they laughed.
Look at the chimneys and people. Ooh. Ooh, wow.
So first of all, there's
I
no
see a wire.
why.
I wonder where
He's
it goes
so
to.
high up. It's amazing.
Alright.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm going too fast. Gee, I wish my head felt better. All the blood is rushing to my head.
Aren't you right side up now?
Everything is happening so fast. Oh, I'm dizzy. Oh my, look at all the people go by so fast.
One boy asked how low the plane could fly. His friend pointed to a tree. Checking the
There.
control, they navigated the plane.
That low.
This would be fun to see.
Let's see how close we can get it to the tree.
Be careful. Suddenly the plane went into a nosedive.
I mean, in fairness, that's something boys would
The
do.
tree on the ground.
100%.
Louder and louder its engine roared. It could be heard for miles around. Closer and closer it came to the tree. Calvin thought for sure he was doomed. He
Good.
expected the worst, preparing to crash.
God, I
When
hope
Do
he
it.
is.
upward, he suddenly zoomed.
Stop it.
Boy,
Here's making
look at
that
that. I
special
made
sound
it
effect.
zoom up.
I'll die.
Let me try. No, I want to do it.
Well, whose is it?
Calvin wondered if he was dead or alive as the aircraft
I wished he
began
was
to
dead.
glide. Meanwhile, the boys were thrilled by the stunt. Calvin was shaking
And
from
so
the
that
ride.
stunt certainly was intense, wasn't it?
Up and down,
Yep.
around and around. The plane was remotely controlled. First flying
know.
high and then flying low. Calvin was getting brave and bold. The
Yeah.
wings of the plane were spread like an eagle. As through the air like a jet it soared. The boys had never seen anything like it. They watched as the engine roared.
Let me see. These boys are controlling it from the ground. Maybe there's some way to control it from up here.
Suddenly
Oh my
the plane
God.
seemed out of control. The boys were filled with concern.
We're just padding runtime at this
Examining
point, aren't we?
closely the master switch, the problem they tried to learn. Calvin had discovered by moving a wire, the plane would fly off course. Now the boys were extremely worried. The problem was getting worse. Santa was discouraged as he wandered about. He spotted the boys flying a plane.
As he was
When
escorted
he
away
saw
from the
Calvin,
children by the
he
police.
feared for his life
Yeah.
and loudly shouted his name. Calvin knew his wish had been granted when sighting Santa below. He pulled and pushed on the wire. Downward he wanted to go. The
You could
boys
just
did their
jump.
best to gain control as the plane circled the sky. But Calvin was determined he'd fly the plane, or at least he was going to try.
Whether he live or die.
Thank you. I was also thinking that.
My. I think Calvin's gained control of the aircraft. My.
That's
The
it?
problem, the boys thought, had been discovered when briefly the plane responded to control. They watched it closely, with fingers crossed, while nearby, Santa pretended to stroll. Suddenly, the
How
plane
do you
began flying
pretend
downward,
to
Thank
stroll?
you.
heading
Thank you for
straight
yeah,
for a
I don't
traffic
know.
light. The boys tried to guide the plane upward. Poor Santa was filled with fright.
Oh, look out. It's gonna crash into the street.
Look out, pull it up.
I can't.
There seemed to be nothing the boys could do. Only Calvin could pilot that flight. As he pulled on the wire, the plane tilted upward, and by...
The kid on the right. That is the appropriate face for this entire special.
Correct.
inches missed the light.
And
Oh my god. 12 minutes.
Santa stood watching in absolute disbelief. It was a miracle before his eyes. He scratched his beard as he wondered, had Calvin made the plane rise? All through the sky the model plane flew. Calvin knew it was Santa he had spied. He pushed and pulled on the rudder, and the plane weaved from side to side.
And then
Staring
he
at the
crashed.
controls, the boys were confused. Its signals were totally dead. The plane should have crashed long ago, but it continued to fly instead.
Were they trying to make it crash? Then?
Yes.
Flying is fun, now that I'm not afraid.
Learning quickly, Calvin knew how to fly, but was uncertain how to land. The boys looked upward, not saying a word.
I've played Flight Simulator.
Plane.
Flying is
Calvin
easy. It's
had
the landings that
taken
are hard.
command. Calvin thought and thought about what to do, to land on the street below. He wished he'd made the plane in the toy shop. Then he would surely know. The plane began making an unusual noise. Out of gas.
You mean outside of that
Began to
mosquito
glide.
buzzing sound?
Calvin tried to direct it toward the street as the wings dipped down to the side. It was a lucky break for Calvin, the pilot, that the fuel had all been used. For slowly the wheels of the plane touched the street. He landed without even a bruise.
You should have jumped.
Oh, Calvin, you've come back. Those naughty boys.
Oh!
I knew they couldn't keep you very long.
Where have you been?
Are you hurt, Calvin?
No, I had to get control and get back here.
Why?
Santa paced
Don't you want to go back to
and
Santa?
forth, wondering. Now what was he going to do? There had to be a way to get Calvin back. Suddenly, a way Santa knew. Kim
Why don't
was
you go pick
happy
him
her
up?
elf doll was safe.
Why don't you walk
She told
over
him
there,
she was
grab the
glad
toy
he'd
from the
return.
7-year-old, and then leave?
Calvin asked her to please listen closely, and his secret she soon would...
I'm not kidding. Just get the doll from the 7-year-old and run. Run. Do you know why we have the analogy like taking candy from a baby? Because it's very easy to take things from young children, and it's considered morally wrong because of that.
Yeah.
Just take the stupid elf and go.
I mean, you're Santa. You can replace it with another doll, right?
I mean, hold on a second. Santa, you did come here with a replacement, yes?
You know,
You
an actual doll, not like one of your employees.
Well, okay. there was supposed to be an actual doll
Yeah.
in the bag. So you just grabbed that one and you brought it here, right? Because that's obviously what you would do.
Yeah.
She's 7. She is not going to give a shit, okay? Because you're giving her a better one.
Yeah, a doll that you don't have to feed.
Yeah. How about this? Get her a puppy. Or a kitten. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just saying.
How are there still 10 minutes?
I don't
Now,
know. I've been
Calvin,
asking how has
you
there
might
been this
tell me
much time?
everything.
We're like an
All
hour,
right,
okay?
but you'll have to promise never to tell anyone else. While I was flying,
You
I
haven't!
saw Santa Claus, and he has come to get me and take me back to the North Pole.
Oh my
That
God.
is, if he still wants me. You know,
We
Kim,
don't want
if
you.
I
I don't
ever
want
get
to tell
another
what you did.
chance, I'm going to work hard and pay attention and not make any more mistakes.
So you're telling me you actually could have done everything right this whole fucking time? Just take your fucking Adderall and then do your job, okay?
Oh,
Just say it.
yeah.
God help me. All right.
Oh, Calvin, I don't want you to go away.
Too fucking bad, child.
We had so
Life
much
isn't
fun
fair.
together.
You did not.
Santa had
Remember
borrowed
when
a
I
very
was abused by the bullies?
Remember how every time I brought you out in public, everyone abused me and harassed me and bullied me relentlessly? And also remember how I basically have done nothing but carry you around and feed you?
Good times.
very large truck and was returning to the home of Kim. He thought of all that had happened to Calvin, hoping it had been a lesson to him.
A lesson? You accidentally took him out instead of the doll, which, by the way, means that there was still a doll inside the bag that you just ignored being there, didn't question until you got back to the North Pole and saw that Calvin was gone. Oh my God. This was a lesson. Okay, sure, Santa.
All right.
You want to talk about gaslighting? Holy shit.
I mean, I'm no Calvin defender here, but come on. That's just an outright bull-faced lie, Santa.
It's just a lie.
I hope he learned a lesson from being stranded.
From being abandoned.
Truck down the street, he planned what next he would do. He had to be careful with
You
every
need to
move,
get your stupid
for
elf
he
and
needed
go.
Kim's help too. The truck stopped in front of Kim's house. Santa saw the boys had found their plane. He looked at each one closely, memorizing each one's name.
You can't look at someone and know their name. Just saying.
Yeah.
Stupid story.
Hopefully, Santa approached the house and loudly knocked on the door. Kim heard her mother talking to Santa, the stranger Calvin
hell are
mentioned
you?
before.
I'm sorry, what do
We're
you want?
collecting toys for next year. I'm sure with all
you
the
have
nice
any
new
creepy
things your
elf
children
dolls?
received this Christmas,
Yeah.
they won't mind giving up a few of their old and broken playthings.
Maybe the other children have some things. Aren't you a little early this year, though? Usually you come around much later in the year.
Oh, they're getting to be so many children that we have to start early.
Literally, just take the stupid doll and run. I don't know what to tell you, Santa. Like, at this point, you're just making it more difficult for yourself.
I
Take
mean,
the doll.
there's thousands of children out there that need toys.
Yeah. Just take the doll, give the child the puppy, and then fucking bounce. Okay, that's all you gotta do. The kid's gonna remember it, and they're gonna lock it away in their brain as like a fever dream. All right.
I mean, I thought he'd be like appear in her room at night or something like that, and tell her I'm here to take Calvin home. I wasn't thinking, like trying to lie to the mom.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd go knocking on their front fucking door and go, "Hey, can we have your toys that you don't want?"
The 2 days
The
after
day
Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's when kids are completely done with the new toys.
Yeah. Oh, they're iPad kids. That's what happened.
Oh.
They're iPad kids in 1971.
Takes a while to get them fixed and painted, you know.
I guess you're right. I'll see what the other children have. I'm sure we can find something for you.
I understand you received a funny little doll for Christmas.
Okay, now you're
and since he isn't really what you wanted, maybe you could donate him.
But I love him. He's my own little elf doll.
I'm going to tell you this, and you're the first little child.
So I'm going to tell you this, child. I'm taking that doll whether you want me to or not.
Yeah.
So,
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
You can either give it to me or I can take it. But I am leaving this house with that doll. So just as an FYI.
Shouldn't Calvin recognize this is clearly Santa?
He has. He has like 8 times.
So why doesn't he tell her, "That's Santa, I want to go home"?
Hey, my dad's here. Can I fucking go?
Yeah.
Tim, what the hell? You want to be selfish? Well, guess what? You just got put on the naughty list. Oh my god. Oh my god.
In the world ever to see me. But I'm Santa Claus.
Okay.
And I really need little Calvin to help me.
No, you
Why?
don't.
Looking at Kim holding Calvin tightly, Santa knew she loved him too.
I don't care.
Patiently, he watched
Stop
and
it.
waited,
Just snatch it
wondering
on, run.
what the little girl would do.
Snatch it on, run.
It was difficult for Kim to make a decision.
Grab it and
Should she
go.
keep Calvin or let him go?
Take her and run.
He had told her
Grab
he
the doll.
wanted to go home, but she felt she'd miss him so.
Don't care.
Kim looked at Santa.
Use your stupid fucking Christmas magic and make her a doll that looks like him, okay? That you can pull a string and like it can talk, and then just leave with him. There you go. I would have solved your problem. I honestly think a puppy would be better, but what do I know?
Yeah. Although, unironically, it would be amazing if he gave her like a more traditional doll, and she was like, "Oh, this is so much prettier! Yay!"
Well, this is actually nice. What the hell? So, okay, I could have had this the whole time. Wow. Okay. No wonder all the kids were making fun of me. Oh my god.
And then at her doll. The North Pole was where Calvin belonged.
Yes.
Hesitantly,
I mean,
she
no,
extended
Bert.
him to Santa. Thanking her, he waved and was gone.
Oh.
Oh, that's just how. So you could have literally just snatched it and run
Taking
outside.
Calvin under his arm, toward the street, Santa hurriedly walked.
What?
As the boys carried the plane, Calvin saluted. They saw the doll they'd mocked.
Look at that. That doll's walking.
Yeah, he's getting into the truck with the old man.
Yeah, we need to tell Mom immediately.
The boys watched Santa place him in the truck, and then stepped
That's
to
a
the steering
picture.
wheel. They were
Oh
stunned
yeah,
by
we
what
chose
they'd
that one.
seen.
That's great.
Was it possible the dummy was real?
No.
Santa was overjoyed to have again found Calvin.
Why?
He knew he wasn't home yet. The children watched as he drove down the street, not knowing it was Santa they'd met.
I don't know, man.
How did Santa get a dump truck?
Kim and her mother
don't
stood
know.
in front of the house, watching the truck go out of sight. Kim missed Calvin.
So he
She
didn't
was
replace the
certain
doll.
that the decision.
He didn't replace the doll. So my jokes about just take it and run is actually kind of what happened, except he walked. So he just took it and walked away. He didn't.
Yeah.
So what happened to the toy that was actually made for her?
Was it one of the toys Calvin screwed up?
Oh my god, it totally was. It was the Raggedy Ann doll. Holy shit,
Yeah.
we just figured it out.
hate Calvin.
I want him dead.
She had made was right.
Goodbye, Calvin.
Toodaloo.
I'll always remember the fun we had.
You literally won't. You're
And remember,
She's
you
giving him the
promised
side
to be
eye.
good.
At the airport, Calvin pretended to be a
Airport?
doll.
What?
Custom
You have flying reindeer and you're flying commercially?
He needed his visa.
Oh my god, I forgot about the visa. How did my brain forget about the visa and the Richard Nixon phone call? Oh my god.
It all makes sense. This is a legal trip from Santa.
God help me.
Agent what should do. There was something strange about that toy, but he nodded and let it pass through.
Really? You're
The
really
plane
shit.
carried a happy elf homeward.
Oh
my
Santa
God.
told him where he'd hidden.
Oh, did we just stop giving a shit? Like,
I mean, this is clearly recorded on VHS.
I know. I just like it better. The idea the editor gave up. Like, I want this for the next 5 minutes is what I want this to be on the screen. All right.
The deer. Calvin was anxious to see
No,
all
damn
his
it.
friends.
Damn it.
But Heilig he dreaded to hear. The reindeer were safely waiting.
Oh.
Santa and Calvin climbed in a sleigh. Soon
Then
the
why'd they need to go to the airport?
Why were we at the fucking airport? What the fuck? Why did we need a visa if we had reindeer? What the shit? Baffled. Is there a stronger flabbergasted? My gasket has been flabbered. I do not understand what is going on anymore. I didn't really before, but I really don't know.
I'm sorry. I just had an aneurysm.
Oh, it's okay. That's what I've been experiencing for like the last hour. That's fine.
All right. Okay.
All right, 5 minutes. We got this.
bells on the harness were jingling as Santa reined them on their way. Through the air, the reindeer sped. The cold north wind began to blow. Anxious to return to the warmth of the barn, the deer hurried through the falling snow.
Uh-huh.
The elves were thrilled with Calvin's return.
Why?
Joyfully, they jumped
They
up
all
and
hated
down.
him.
That is, all of the elves except Heilig.
Yeah,
Based.
Heilig's a real
Not
one.
making a sound.
He's a real one.
Calvin truly wanted to be Heilig's friend and
No.
prove he could make perfect toys. As Heilig listened, he knew Calvin was sincere. He'd learned a lot from the girls and boys.
Ow.
What?
The elves were
What
happy
What
that
did you
Calvin
learn?
was
How
rehired.
to be
He
mean to a
wasn't
little
going to
girl?
be sent away.
Yeah.
Although it was the beginning of a new work year, it was like another Christmas day. Starting his special list for next year, Santa
Dude, let the fucking elves have a day, like, let them have a week off. My God. Like,
Remember in Elf, there's that joke, like at the beginning of the movie, where they go, like, we've completed another Christmas. Now we begin preparations for next Christmas. And they're like, yay! And that was the joke.
capitalism. It's all capitalism's fault, Josh.
I've never seen it like done like that literal.
Yeah, right? Okay, all right, we got
relaxed in
We
his
got this.
favorite chair. Certain boys needed to be watched more closely. Giving gifts to naughty children wasn't fair.
No, sir. No toys.
I guess
for
I need to
bad
do a
girls
better
and boys.
job.
I'm going to keep my eyes on those boys down in the United States. They were wrong being mean to little children. They'd better be careful. Now let's
Sounds
see.
like a threat.
I have to check my list again.
All right, men, we've had enough rest. We're starting in on the toys for next year.
Enough rest. It's been
Calvin,
what?
you start working
18
over there on
hours,
that
man.
drum. And 2 of you start on that slide. And the rest of you find something to do. We
Find
all have
something
lots
to
of work to
do.
do. That's it. Now let's get this.
Have the rest of y'all fuck off and find something to do. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go sleep. Josh, what the absolute shit? And I know I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so true. I'm just blown away. With how shit this is.
I didn't think this was going to be worse than Wizzo last week, but my God, I think this is unironically worse.
Yeah, because at some point in Wizzo, your brain just goes numb because you're just seeing nonsense like for like an hour.
But at least I could understand what was going on. I could. Yeah, there's a simple story, and I was able to follow the simple story.
Let's not give it that much credit that there was a story. Okay, there was something.
There was a little girl, and she was kind of depressed, and so he takes her to go visit Santa, and that cheers her up.
Okay, all right, fair enough. There was like a subplot that accidentally became the only plot, right? Because there was no other plot. Yeah, fair enough.
The annoying part was Wizzo because he just wouldn't shut up.
He literally talked for like an hour straight, hour and a half, however long that stupid thing was. This is like Calvin has done nothing but make everything worse, and somehow he's being rewarded for it.
This story has been baffling.
Yes.
Although I will give Santa calling President Nixon a pass. That was amazing.
Yeah, and him telling Santa he needed a visa. That was fucking funny. Like,
it's like, you know what? That's clearly a joke, and it actually worked.
Actually, I don't know if it was, but it works either way.
I was entertained by it.
Yes. So.
But then they go to the airport and then they get on the reindeer sled. That's the what the hell?
There's a lot of what the hell moments. We got 2.5 more minutes.
We got it.
This workshop humming. Are you doing better, Calvin?
Oh, yes. I have no trouble when I pay attention. You're going to be proud of me, Hylig.
How did he learn to pay attention?
I don't know.
The little elves began making new toys. Calvin discovered how work could be fun.
What?
Hylig laughed as the first toy was finished, and Calvin held up a drum.
And it was crap. Santa's giving him the side eye.
Little girl
right?
Who had given up a toy so dear. He took a pencil and wrote Calvin a note requesting a special doll for next year.
Why does she have to
Santa
wait
knew there
for
were
yours
many
to
toys
run?
coming. As his list began to grow,
Really?
he made plans to secretly visit each good child. Who they were, only Santa would know.
Isn't that the whole point of the naughty nice list?
Yeah, I thought that was magical. Is it just a fucking piece of paper?
Calvin had received Santa's message and began making a special toy. He knew the gift would be perfect, and Kim would be delighted with joy.
Welcome back, Calvin. All the little children in the world need toys, and we must make them correctly.
Hylig inspected the newly made toys before storing them on a shelf. He chuckled when seeing Calvin's perfect doll, for it looked just like Calvin himself. The drum and the doll were only the beginning, as Calvin worked super fast. He had finally become a perfect elf. Never again would he finish last.
I hate you
Being a good worker is easy and lots of fun.
No,
See
it's
what
not.
I've done by paying attention? And by the way, a Merry Christmas to everyone.
That's right,
That's
Calvin.
my line, you
May
little
I say
bastard.
the same thing?
Yeah.
Now remember, be good little girls and boys. A Merry Christmas,
Shut the fuck up. Okay. I just. Oh my god. As soon as that ended, we're out.
Oh.
That was awful.
Of the that's now what the 4 Christmas movies we have watched now.
Yes.
That's the first one that I went into completely cold, where I have not seen it prior.
Okay.
That was easily the worst.
By far. That was infuriating. That made me mad. There were so many times I wanted to rage quit.
Wow. That kind of broke my brain a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Nothing. The ending. So we were right. 10 minutes in, we should have just pieced out because everything got worse. Nothing was improved by the end of it. In fact, everything had a net negative.
Yeah.
All right. And then I got lectured to by Calvin saying that being a hard worker is fun. Okay. Get the fuck out of here.
But there was no lesson for him to learn about the value of hard work.
Correct.
He just says it. It's like, what? How'd you? Where's this coming from? You're not. He doesn't learn the lesson of hard work at all. He just. I work hard now. Oh, okay.
I fucking guess you do, Calvin.
So, of the 4 Christmas movies that we've watched,
Uh-huh.
this Wizzo last week,
Mhm.
Santa Claus versus the Devil, and Santa Claus and the
Oh,
Ice Cream
shit.
Bunny.
I forgot about the Santa Claus versus the Devil.
Is Santa Claus versus the Devil still is that the best one we've seen so far?
Yeah, and it's like hyper racist with slavery in it. It's utterly crazy.
With the child slavery, yeah.
Yeah, there's child labor, and like it is very racist. So I don't know how on earth that movie ends up being the best one so far. That is utterly baffling. Guys, you had a bar. Your bar was to beat child labor and racism, and you fell short. How'd you do that?
All of them have fallen short of it.
Every single one of them.
Because Santa Claus and the Ice Cream Bunny had like the production value of a potato, and
it just cuts into like it was like a 45-minute long advertisement
for Thumbelina, yeah. And then we found out Thumbelina was also in an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, which was a very bizarre twist.
Yeah. And then we had the madness of Wizzo last week. And then this.
I would put Santa and the Devil number 1. Number 2 would be Thumbelina. Number 3 would be Wizzo. Number 4 would be this.
So kind of in descending order. We started with the best.
We actually managed to get worse every single movie we have watched.
I debated to do Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Okay. Well, if you want it, you know what, Josh? Because we're taking a 2-week break for holiday stuff. We're gonna be back on the 4th. If you want to do did I say Halloween? Fucking hell! This is stupid. Santa versus the Martians or whatever that movie is. If you want to do that for the 4th, for January 4th, I'm more than happy to do that.
Or should we save it for next Christmas?
Totally up to you on that.
We shall see.
Wait, yeah, dun dun dun. God help me! Oh my God,
That was awful.
so bad. How was it? It's fucking 4 p.m. here. It's almost dark outside. Oh God.
It's getting dark here. Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas.
Oh, actually, I have an announcement.
Oh my God, what?
Next Friday, I will be on Pops' show.
Oh, nice.
Where we will be discussing Santa Claus versus the Devil.
Oh, good.
So I have to rewatch it now.
Suck it, Josh.
I already watch that every year. I love that movie. It's so bad. I love it.
To be fair, I would watch that over this. So.
Well, yeah.
You should maybe introduce some of the more shitty Christmas movies too. Just kind of sneak those in there. Just be like, hey guys.
You remember Pops last week? He knew all about Wizzo.
Oh, I know, but I mean, like this one, I just gotta know. Who else knows about this one?
I don't know. I think Cinema Snob did a review of this movie, but I have not seen that. And I found out about that because of I downloaded this off of the Internet Archive, and that was the comment. Like I saw, I'm here from Cinema Snob, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At least Santa Claus versus the Devil has production value. That's true, Rambam.
It is not even close to. It is
That
so
one
much
easily
better.
has the best production value.
By far, yeah. Like they may have spent like $500 on that one actually. Like.
Mm-hmm. Like that one felt like a movie.
Yeah. $100%. Oh, all right. Anything else you got going on, Josh?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, we will see y'all literally next year.
Yes, we will.
January 4th will be our next show. So we will see y'all then.
Yep.
Thank y'all for coming.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And a Happy New Year. And don't watch this movie. Okay, for the love of all things holy, don't watch this movie.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.